Sister Andrea Brunet is in a place to be. How you doing, Senate?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
So you have something to show us today?
Yes, I went on to the product line and I bought 3 shirts and I just wanted to show you all what I got.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, so this is the first one. This is the
Ah, the Onk shirt.
the Ankh shirt. I got it in black and gold, but I think I'm gonna go and get a blue one too.
All right.
Okay, so that's the first one.
All
And
right.
then
The Maat. Oh, it looks
this
good in
I don't
blue.
yeah,
All
I don't know.
right.
Yeah, this is the Maat one.
Oh, that's
I don't
what's
know if you
up.
can see.
Yeah, we see it. We
I'm
see
trying.
it.
Can you see it?
Nice bright
And
color.
yeah, I love this. I love this color. I love it. And then the piece de la resistance is my favorite
Probably the best to
one.
be
I'm
tonight.
the place to be tonight. Yeah,
That's what's up. Probably the
there's
best
that
to
on
be
the sleeve
tonight.
too.
Even on the sleeve.
Tonight,
All right.
even on the
Tonight.
sleeve. I had it. Yeah,
All right.
this is the lick right here. So I'll be wearing that on
Oh,
your next live. I will have this one on.
oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right.
So
Well, thank you.
that's the 3 ones I got.
Thank you very
Love
much
them.
for your support. It's appreciated. I'm glad that you like the products.
You're welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right.
And we'll see you on the next live stream.
All right. See you soon, sister. Peace.
Okay.
Hotel.
Okay, I hope you can see this. Civilization started with agriculture. Custom made shirt from Maat Forever, Shaka Indugu. Civilization started with agriculture. This is Curse of Hammurabi, Shaka Indugu, who I support. Civilization started with agriculture because
All right. Hey, brother Donnie Williams. See, you got your
Yeah,
mail.
yeah. What's up, Shaka? I was gonna do just a. I know it's a serious topic, but I was gonna do a little
No, no, I appreciate that, bro. I'm
unboxing.
glad.
So
I'm glad. Yeah, yeah. Live
yeah.
unboxing. Bro, you don't mind if I use this excerpt, like as a clip in my
No,
intro?
no,
Oh,
it's all
thank you.
good.
Thank you. And for
Yeah,
those who wonder, I'm gonna share the link. All right, that's lovely.
yeah. I got the Heather Gray. Oh man, yeah,
Oh, you got the
I
Kemet
didn't.
shirt as well. Okay.
Yeah, can you? I didn't know it had that on the back
In the
though.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what's up,
That's
man.
lovely. Oh, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
yeah. So just letting you know, just coming through, showing some support real quick, man. I'm about to get back into this Netflix film. So um, just wanted to say peace, man, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Hey, this is my unboxing video that I'm doing for the product I bought from my Out Forever's channel. I bought the coffee mug, and here it is. Sorry there's a glare from the screen, but lots of bold, crisp, beautiful colors, inside and out, high quality ceramic. I absolutely love it. So y'all go check out his website. It's got a lot of fun, fresh designs. And cheers to you, Shaka, and all of your endeavors. Peace.
Our sister RP is in the place to be. What's up, sister?
Et Sin E. How you doing?
Et Senate E. I'm doing nefer.
Oh, great, great. Um, well, I got it today. I was thinking it was coming from France, but then I did the tracking and it was outside actually when I went to check, and here it is.
Oh, that's what's up. It's just like my hat. That's what's up. Let me,
Yeah,
let me do the solo layout. There it is, brothers and sisters. That's
yeah.
what's up.
I really like this. Yeah, so I have an after school program that I help facilitate. And I'm going to wear this because we're going to start talking about coding. So I'm going to
Okay.
use this as an introduction because this is a code. It's
Mm,
ancient code, but it's still a code. And then we're going to be able to, demonstrate. I'll be able to demonstrate to them the meanings inside each of the, glyphs and stuff. So, but yeah, I was looking online and I was like, this is actually like really good. designs, you know. So as soon as I get some more, extra money, I'm gonna get the matching hat, and I want to get a Maat shirt. But I really like the Kemet one.
Okay. Damn, it's loud. Let me do this. Let me check now. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. One, two. You know what? I'm gonna change the setting because let's try now. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Let's try now. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. Hotep Sinuhena Senut. E.T. and E. Shakandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is Jabari Osaze's Shrine of Ma'at is cool with rapists and anti-African teachings. First, let me show you a comment that was left recently on one of my latest video before it gets removed. Before it gets removed, who knows? So I have this video here entitled Blasphemy. Dang. Blasphemy. Senator's wife Napashida said they are gods and she'll kill all of us if she wanted. And you know, when I come up with a title, it's no cap. So you'll hear her say that. That was just one day ago. Now, as for the comments, if you have a comment on the panel and you don't see the comments, you can just do sort by newest first, and there it is. There's supposed to be two. There's only one showing here. Sometimes it happens. So we have this person here. I don't know if that person has an actual username. Lately, he's been doing that, you know. And the individual here, he has that position, which is inaccurate, but you know, they're not the only one. The people who are into the Kemetic yoga as well. So just for the record, Um, they used to be like that, at the hands, both hands at the same level, and I have at least two artifacts that I showed you in my classes, you know. Um, the only reason why on the side you see one hand or one arm further ahead is so that we can see both arms. Because if they have both arms at the same level, then you end up seeing only one arm when it's on the side. So you might as well just not do that anymore, but do this instead of doing this. But then you're free to do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I deal with the actual artifacts, archaeological documents, not the make believe paintings that people came up with later on. So 8 hours ago, that's less than 24 hours ago, he wrote, I'm a member of the Shrine of Maat, and I have respect for you, brother. I watch your channel. But what you're saying about Brother Jabari is not true. You may want to put a capital letter with Jabari. That's what people do when they have a given name, but it's no slight. It's not a shot towards you. So it's not true just because he didn't address it when you wanted him to. We who practice a Kemetic tradition should try to stay together, then be apart. Should all be in one word, but it's okay. Let's not do what religion does to other people. And you're right, Brother Reggie is a whole B. Okay, so I appreciate the comment, but I don't appreciate lies. It's not a matter of Jabari who didn't address something when I wanted him to. Because when I sent him an email, it took 3 weeks to reply. Why are you doing this? Why you put me between your conflict? Why you put me in the middle of your conflict between you and Sa? That's what he said. So when people are rapists, child molesters, anti-African, for him, it's just a conflict between me and Sa. And that's unacceptable. So here for the record, see this video? 4 months ago. Nothing to do with when you want it. If you're a man, you don't need another man to tell you, look, it's messy over there. They have child molesters, they have rapists, they have people who are anti-Africans. But you might as well just not leave any room for people to tell you, oh, I didn't know. Because that's what they like to say, order. So here, this video, as everybody can see, Jabari Osaze, what will you do about Saneta's anti-African promotion? You see that? 4 months ago. 4 months ago. Now the video is short. Let's listen to what I said.
Just give me a few seconds. Let me check this. Yeah. Stream Senuti Tiran Isha Kandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Title of this live stream is Mario Sase. What will you do about Saneta's anti-African promotion? First of all, I hope you are doing well, your family or your endeavors. And I want to get straight to the point. You don't have to answer me. But if I don't get any answer anywhere, anyhow, then I'm going to presume that it's okay with you. When the polite situation came up, you made a live stream. In that live stream, you suggested that polite should be put on timeout because He was flossing. He did not even say that he's innocent. You don't know of any lawyer who will say or would advise somebody to say, I'm innocent. The live stream is still on your panel, your channel, on YouTube channel, the last time I checked. Now, Senator has been promoting anti-African teaching for a long time. And here, and listen to this, and I will ask you about this later on.
As a people, I hate Africans because of what they did to my people.
He said that as a people, he hates Africans. Here,
how can I let Red Pill come? Red Pill just have a different ideology than me, but he's still a brother. That 14-year-old African is an African. He's not my brother. He's not my people, period.
The African is not his brother, is not his people. I've already shared when he said, I got it to admit on tape, that he celebrates the death of Africans. Do you celebrate the death of Africans?
We about to say, in what capacity? Let me before I answer.
Do you celebrate the death of Africans? It's very clear. It's plain English.
Well, we got a Passover coming up, so that would be the death of the Egyptians.
Okay, but my question to you, and you can
I just
answer by
answered
yes
it.
or no.
I just answered it.
You said we have a Passover coming, and you mentioned the Egyptians. Right now, you're buying time.
Are Egyptians not Africans?
Are you celebrating?
I'm asking you a question. I just said we have.
He doesn't want to answer because he knows it sounds bad. It sounds worse than MLK because MLK is one guy.
I think what I just said is worse than saying death of Africans because those deaths are African babies. You know what the Passover is about? The Passover is about when he passed over the firstborn sons of the Israelites, but killed all the firstborn sons and animals of the Egyptians who are Africans. I'm not dodging your question. I'm just expounding on it.
Well, okay, can you answer by yes or no then? Do you
yes,
celebrate the death of
I'm
Africans?
going to celebrate the Passover, which is about the death of Egyptians that were killing our babies. That's called.
All right, so it is there for the record. So Jabari, you can be cool with Senator if you want to. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't usually tell people what they should do. I heard live on air that Senator is a member of your organization, So I presume that will be the Shrine of Maat. And I'm not supposed to be told what goes on inside of the organization, me not being a member. I'm curious, however, to find out. But I'm not asking you to tell me what's going to happen within the inner circles of your organization. But as a brother who is a Kemetic priest, and also I've heard you say that you are an African chief, that you are a chief of an African village. What are you going to do about Saneta's anti-African promotion? Because I've demonstrated that the dude said that he hates Africans, that the African is not his people, is not his brother, and that he, along with his organization, of course, celebrate the death of Africans. Saneta did not speak on that. And I suspect that this is the stance of Saneta, but he's going to get other people to say it so it looks better. It would avoid him saying it. Besides, it's not only towards the African. Saneta is clearly xenophobic because even towards West Indian, you can hear how disrespectful he was labeling West Indians. And actually, you are from the Caribbean, right? Right? I forgot the actual place. It may come back to me.
Why should they listen to you? It's Willie Lynch. So why should they listen to you? Willie Lynch this right here. Willie Lynch at his best. Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch at
another
his best.
Another West Indian.
Go ahead.
Another West Indian.
Another West Indian. Go over to
Willie
get this. Another damn West Indian.
Another West Indian. Willie Lynch.
Another bootlicker.
Willie Lynch.
Look, you gonna come to my face, man. You get ahead, man. You don't know nothing about the black nigga.
No, you still on the plantation.
Bootlicking ass nigga, man.
Protecting the cracker. Protect the cracker. Go ahead. Protect Whitey.
Protecting the cracker.
Protect Whitey.
Keep on protecting Whitey, nigga.
Where the fuck is he? These white folks, these black people come to the aid of this white man. Yeah, come on back, brother. Come on back. Come on back. Come on back.
Come on back.
Come on back. I got it.
Come on.
Man,
shut up. Come on.
You work for the white man.
Come on over here.
You work for the white man.
Shut the hell up.
You work for the white man. You work for the white man.
Your damn self.
You work for the white man.
All you goddamn banana boat motherfuckers come here and try to tell us something.
Yeah.
All you banana boat motherfucking West Indians come here and try to tell us something.
They're
gonna drop you all you banana boat motherfuckers come here and try to tell us something. You can't tell us a damn thing. You want to kiss the white man ass, you kiss his ass. You want to kiss his ass, you kiss his ass. Don't come here and try to tell us. All you goddamn motherfucking banana boat motherfuckers come here and try to tell us what to do.
Who is rich and who owns everything on this block? You?
Get the hell out of here.
Foreigners own everything.
If you want to kiss the white man's butt, you kiss it. Don't come tell us what to do.
We can't even buy a bagel from you.
You don't tell us what to do, man.
You can buy a DVD from us and free your mind. You can buy a book from us and free your mind.
They're all
you can buy a book from us. You can buy a book from us and free your mind. Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. You bootleg. You's a bootleg Negro. You's a bootleg African. You a bootleg African. You're a bootleg African. A bootleg African. You shouldn't even be proud to say that. You a disgraceful Jamaican. That's what you are. You a disgraceful Jamaican. You a disgraceful Jamaican. You a disgraceful Jamaican. Here come the other one. Here comes down.
First, let me say to you, I'm not planning on being here long, talking about these issues, but I do want to say to you that there have been a number of things that have occurred that are quite concerning, that I'm sure that you are aware of. I really need to say to you that first, let's begin with the allegations, and the arrest and the subsequent arrest of Brother Polite. It is so important for us to acknowledge that the charges that have been levied against Brother Polite, and in fact his subsequent arrest, are very serious. They're very serious. And I do know that there are some of you who would like to say that that we should simply wait until all of this is adjudicated in court. And clearly, I think that we should recognize that, of course, it is going to be adjudicated in court. Of course it is. Of course, this is something that is so serious, that the allegations are so vile that they will be adjudicated in court. It is not our role to convict Brother Polite before that occurs. However, I'm going to say to you, when the allegations are as serious as they are, we need to take them seriously. And in taking them seriously, I think it should be pretty clear that we should expect Brother Polite to be on timeout. At the very least. At the very least, he needs to sit down and not do the things that he'd been doing. I think that I've been concerned by some of there's only one way to call it, flossing that he's been doing on social media during this time.
Polite, if let's say Polite is innocent, he could be a partial victim you know, maybe he broke up with the girl. Who knows, you know, what happened in that instance. But the only true victim is that girl. So I think that's what we need.
And I think that's being a hypocrite because you have a member of ISUPK who was locked up for child molestation, for rape, or whatever it is, and y'all still support him. Here it is, Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all wouldn't support him. See the double standard?
What
you have
double
a member
standard?
in ISUPK, which y'all support him financially. You put money on his books. But Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all
This how I know you taking a
that's
strong.
a double standard.
This how I know you take a strong position of Polite's innocence, regardless of waiting till the verdict come, because you keep bringing up the same exact thing, even though I've explained the position dozens of times. How many times do I have to explain the same exact position? So in that instance, the brother took a lot of.
Even if you explain it, it still remains the same, though, Captain.
No,
you still support
what remains the same?
Guilty.
But what remains the same, though?
That he was found guilty.
Definitely was found guilty. But he also
Polite was not found guilty.
I'm not saying don't support him, though.
Right.
Brother, you said if the brother come on my channel, you done.
Wait.
And you know you got me, man. You got me. I said, all right, brother.
That's right.
All right,
but what?
I forgot. It's not Guyana. My parents are from Haiti, you know. But regardless, even if they are not from Haiti, you know, I don't like xenophobia amongst black people. And he's labeling them banana boat N-word.
Why should they listen to you?
Willie Lynch.
So why should they listen to you?
Willie Lynch
This
right
is
here.
Willie Lynch at his
This
best.
Willie Lynch.
Willie Lynch.
Informed. So he said it and he also put it on the screen in written form. So what are you going to do, Brother Jabari? Because you appearing on that channel of Sanada, or any of his channels for that matter, he has 3 main channels. It's like a stamp of approval. Silence is a form of consent. So I'm not asking you to beef with the dude, no longer be friend with the dude, or no longer be a brother with the dude, but I would expect that anybody that claims to work for Africans, for black people worldwide, should not tolerate that. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's when you came on my platform, and I was glad to have you as a guest, and it was a great live stream. At one point, you said to Sekou that this xenophobia that he faced needs to be addressed, right? So what about this then, coming from Sanada? Shouldn't this need to be addressed? Now, regarding Polite, you said that he should be on timeout. Now, besides the anti-African promotion that's going on this panel, there's also the respect, the protection, the defense, and invitation of convicted rapists, convicted child molesters, you see? Now, in case you didn't know, that's about between 1 to 2 months ago. You can hear Senator himself talking about that ISUPK member who was found guilty of child molestation. And he's not the only person also who was convicted in a court of law for rape of a minor, you know. But just for the record, in case you haven't heard it, you know, so you understand this is not slander, this is not gossiping.
Polite, if let's say Polite is innocent, he could be a partial victim. You know, maybe he broke up with the girl. Who knows, you know, what happened in that instance. But the only true victim is that girl. So I think that's what we need.
And I think that's being a hypocrite because you have a member of ISUPK who was locked up for child molestation, for rape, or whatever it is, and y'all still support him. Here it is, Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all wouldn't support him. See the double standard?
What
you have
double
a member
standard?
in ISUPK with
Mighty Hebrew nigga, who you get constantly on your channel, who's on all the Hebrews channel. Don't forget, the Mighty Hebrew, the bald head nigga, been already incarcerated in prison for molesting a young child. He came home and they violated him again because the nigga was trying to fuck with another child.
And this is the court summary. So the court summary says that he was found guilty of rape, guilty of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, guilty of aggravated indecent assault, guilty of statutory rape, guilty of indecent assault, guilty of corrupting a minor. That's 6 charges that he was found guilty of. So you stated that Polite should be on timeout because of that. But the person that was found guilty of these things is not on timeout. You see? So
So here you have the rest. Not too much time left. It's about actually like 12 minutes left. But I want to address this lady right here, Shirley Laria, who is a paid supporter. Now, before she asked me how many times you're going to play Farrakhan's clip, because it bothers her when I play the anti-Black teaching of Louis Farrakhan, right? I play it as many times as I like. If you don't like it, you can step off. Now she's asking me, are you ever going to stop talking about everyone? Doesn't Farrakhan talk about everyone? Didn't he talk about everyone? Didn't he say when Malcolm X died? Let's play. Because if you love rapists, invite them to your house so they can sleep over in your house like Sanetta did. Because maybe you didn't know that's how he gets down. The same mighty Hebrew that he said went to prison for molesting a child. This is the same one who slept at his house.
Everybody, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Time out, everybody. Time out. Let me say this real quick while you getting your pictures up there, brother.
Oh, it's already up
first
there.
thing I want to let the people know, I love my brother, the mighty Hebrew. Me and Hebrew, we go through our little beefs and fight, and brothers fight. The mighty Hebrew knows me personally. I know him. I know his family. He stayed at my house a few times. Him, his family, his children. So it's all love there. I just hate.
It's all love there. So if you want, because he dog hollers. I'm criticizing the rapists and the child molesters, and you always see them coming out of the woodwork. They have a problem with that. Invite them to your house. Feed them, shelter them if you want to. I haven't changed. 10 years back, I had a whole article against those rapists and child molesters. So maybe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe in your mind, you're thinking, oh, he's a black man, he's a rapist, he's a child molester, but he's a black man, he's cool. Because I know many NY members have that mentality. Now, here, for example,
yeah, I love Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
So, Shirley Laria, are you against rapists and child molesters? Just for the record, because nowadays you have to ask. A lot of people are supporting them, like the Desperate Baby Mamas on Sanada's channel. They have openly stated that they support Malachi Yo, for example, who is a serial rapist who sodomized boys and girls. And he was found guilty in a court of law. It's not he said, she said stuff. Or maybe you're going to say the white man set him up. Just like that suntan dude said that the girl was sent to set up, what's his name? Michael Noah, known as Brother Polite. Do you mind answering? Are you against child molesters and rapists? Or are you cool with them when they are black? Because there's a Nation of Islam member who did not have the courage to say he was a member. He lied live on air. I did debate with him. It's on my channel, but it's in French. And he said, as far as he's concerned, if a black man is a rapist, a pedophile, he considers him a member of his family. I have that on tape. I have that on tape. I don't see any message from her. I don't know. We'll see later on. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's the lady I had a discussion with. She had her crew behind her, her cheerleaders, you know, and she was acting like, because I'm not from America, I don't really know the Nation of Islam teaching. I know the Nation of Islam teaching better than most people from the so-called conscious community who are not members of the NOI. I know it so much that Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD in Islamic Studies, challenged me to a debate publicly. I accepted, then he backed down and ran like a coward. And when I told her that Elijah Muhammad taught that Joseph instructed a donkey, it's either a donkey or a camel, you know, I said one of the two, to carry Jesus to Egypt, she was laughing, thinking I was making her up. And I showed it to her. I showed the quote. Then she got pacified. And sometimes, you know, you just show people the deal and they're mad. They get salty. Just like Pum Pum Smash Rockwell, who said that the Hyksos are fake and they make that up and that Kush is not in Nubia. We've seen Smash Rockwell turn into a straight up bitch. Now he's been talking about music mainly because he got to realize what's up. He was acting like he was going to go to school and all that, but it's too difficult for him. He's too much of a bitch ass. He likes to just go online and just make stuff up, just like Bob Banger, right? But the clip that bothers that lady is that one here, anti-black teaching of the Nation of Islam. Ask her if she supports that or not.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair. Because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, We got to learn to be proud of kinks, because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black, but they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically, because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
He talked about black people. So, Shirley Laria, do you approve or do you condemn that message? It's not difficult. Oh, no. It's not difficult, brothers and sisters. He dug hollers. Now, some people are not rapists or child molesters themselves, but they have some friends or family members who are, or associates who are. And he bothers them when he creeps. It's been like that for months. It's been like that for months. Now, that being said, you notice there's no more answer from that lady. You notice, though, she had the energy, you know. She had the energy, but now she can't answer now. Now she's asking her associates, what should I answer now? You understand what I'm saying? We don't see no more answer. Now, I dealt with the first one. You have the link. Then there's another one here. Hold on. I'm going to share the link in the chat. I know Pan-Africans very well. I know the conscious community very well. I've been online for 19 years. And there's so many people who talk that talk, you know, that black talk, that black power talk. But when you start talking about rapists and child molesters, they want to condemn them. So here, you have the link in the chat. Let's have a look at that one. The title is, Jabari Osaze said, if someone comes against Africa, you have to come through me.
Dane Calloway, and it's related to the slavery historical portrayal. Now, do you want to drop a little bit on that? Strategic moving forward. In 2018, is it wise for us to say that we are not Africans? I'm going to tell you, if you look at the European, in 2018, is it wise for us to say that we are not Africans?
He doesn't even want to answer. Now, I was told Herman Smalls, that guy we see on the screen, is a Nubian. He was acting like he doesn't know what Malachi York was sent to prison for.
How can I let Red Pill come? Red Pill just have a different ideology than me, but he's still a brother. That 14-year-old African is an African. He's not my brother. He's not my people, period.
I have said this on your airways again. If someone comes against Africa, you have to come through me. Because you have to come through me. Because I will actually fight for our African legacy, our African heritage, and our African people all day long, every day long. And so while I respect you,
to my people. As a people, I hate Africans because of what they did to my people.
Okay. Now, one more thing that's going to come in that video is you're going to hear Sanetta saying what?
Fucking African. I'm with that. That's the problem. All y'all niggas running around thinking y'all African. Y'all don't know nothing about no fucking African. I'm not no fucking African.
All right. So on one hand, he's like, yeah, I'm going to fight. You know what I'm saying? If you come against Africa, he had the energy for Dan Calloway. He didn't have it for Tazaya, who says he hates Africans. He doesn't have it for Sanada, who says we ain't no damn African. You start the video right there where he's going to say Africans, they're going to kill you and eat you. You judge people by their own standards. By their own standards. So, furthermore, for the record, you see this? All I did is put Jabari in the search. You have Jabari as our guest 6 months ago, 2 months before I asked him what he's going to do about the anti-African teaching. Notice Tazaria told Sanada that he will be done if Sanada keeps on having Polite on his show. Polite didn't have his sentencing yet. That's coming. But Tazaria sends money to a convicted child molester. And we found out that one ISUPK member that is not anonymous and unidentified, just a day or two ago, we went through his Facebook profile. He said that the leader of ISUPK molested a boy. Chris MVP Harris said that it is his cousin that he sends money to because he was found guilty in a court of law of child molestation. So it looks like Tazaria has a cousin who is a child molester, and he has a leader who is a child molester. Now, Jabari couldn't tell Sanada, well, if you keep on having those anti-African people spewing these anti-African teachings, then I'm done. It's on him. So here, Jabari Osaze is our guest. Garfield doesn't want to debate Jabari a year ago. 6 months ago, Farrakhan heard a voice and had a vision just like Jabari. He didn't ask me to speak. I spoke because I stand for what's right. Those guys were trying to make fun of Jabari over here, saying that he had a feeling that he heard, that the spirit actually was saying something to him. But Farrakhan heard a voice. Jabari versus Garfield debate, waiting for the link. Chief X is not committed. Jabari performed a miracle. Right? Garfield backed down. He did not show up to face Jabari. Here I was asking for the title confirmation if there was any flyer 11 months ago. Here, 7 months ago, Jabari never said he spoke to a mommy. The Dagger Squad lied. That psychological idiot, what is it? Sabio Robinson. Sabio Robinson. Right? Burial of Garfield's Dagger Squad, Jabari Osaze, featuring Jabari Osaze and Mr. Vegas 7 months ago. See, Jabari didn't say, we're going to stop talking about everyone. He saw Burial of Dagger Squad. He came through. Lucan's on the panel. We have Sacred Infinite Energy. Hold on. We have Jabari. We have James Power. We have Pan-African James. We have Osamka and Chief X. And nobody said, you want to stop talking about nobody? Here, Jabari heard a voice. You mean just like Elijah Muhammad? In parentheses, stop dancing for Jesus 6 months ago. Because Elijah Muhammad said that he was hearing voices. A lot of people don't know that. Who is lying? Reggie said, I'm helping Garfield. for his debate with Jabari Osaze 11 months ago. Garfield was busted. All right? And here, for the record, Sanetta doesn't think that Professor James Small, Baba Heru, and Jabari Osaze can stop him. Here is the screen capture of Sanetta. Let's see if Professor James Small, Baba Heru, or Jabari can stop me. Laughing my ass off. Right? Now, there's something else. Dealing with a so-called Kemetic priest. This is Sanetta's comment in my chat. Why you be letting your daughter sit on your lap? Then you be feeling on her. Jabari had nothing to say about that. So surely you don't mind that Sanetta is going to talk about my 3-year-old daughter. You're not going to tell Sanetta why you talking about everybody else, but you want to come here and say, why are you talking about everybody? Are you serious, Shirley? Are you serious? Are you serious, Shirley? Why are you not talking no more? No, why are you not typing no more now? How many times Sanetta insulted people's mothers, daughters, son, by literally saying, F your mother, F your daughter. He said that to me. He said that to Uncle Shu. He said that to so many other people. And you have Jabari here. We are putting in work. We're going against the rapist and the child molester. He's going around with the title of Kemetic priest. And he's going to be cool with the rapists and the child molesters and the anti-African people. And we put in work and it's cool. It doesn't work like that. So, that being said, before I share the link, here this is ESPN. Blindside subject or her alleges two or he's made millions of lie. There's a movie with Sandra Bullock. I didn't see it, but I saw the trailer. Retired NFL star Michael O'Hare, whose supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by a wealthy white family was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blind Side, petitioned the Tennessee court Monday with allegations that the central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expenses. I'm going to share the link. Things ain't always what they seem. Things ain't always what they seem. You know? And you may have heard Mark Zuckerberg is going to get it on with Elon Musk. Well, Mark Zuckerberg let it be known. He said Elon Musk isn't serious. Mark Zuckerberg said it's time to move on after the Twitter owner, that's Elon Musk, fails to name date and says he needs surgery. It was a hype. But when it's time to get down, excuses. Now, finally, I don't know what this is about because I only sent to Chris Snakes. But here we have Nepal Shadar versus Chris MVP Harris. And you know what's amusing? Nepal Shadar was accused by a longtime associate, a longtime brother of Sanetta called Judas Nasty. He asked her several times, were you accused of molesting the child? She did not answer. She did not clear her name. Lately, actually, we had other people because Sanetta started talking.
After this whole polite case go on, and when this shit is over with, I want to see all you niggas. Listen to me good, y'all. Rob on, Garfield, all y'all know who I'm talking about. I want to see all you niggas, because I'm gonna be pulling up some reports of molestation in Harlem, in the Bronx, some fresh ones that just went on. I want to see y'all.
Some fresh ones that just went on. Shirley, did you play yourself? We're going to find out. Here's the link. If people want to get on the panel, going to use a webcam. Here's the link here. I'm going to go through the chat. Because some people apparently sent you to put that talking point, but now you don't have no get back now. You can't elaborate now. So Nepal Shadar cannot even clear her name. Galfia cannot clear his name. Rabon cannot clear his name. Sanetta said it. Not for Nepal. It was Judas Nasi for Nepal. I haven't seen Nepal saying, no, it's not true. Maybe she knows there's some paperwork around. So people aren't going to get a pass, you know, with being some molesters and act like we're on the same boat. No, doesn't work like that. Maybe it used to work like that until now, but it doesn't work like that. Now, if I talk about Elijah Muhammad, they're going to say it's a long time ago. But Muhammad Ali's former wife did mention and confirm about 7 women that Elijah Muhammad had babies with, besides his wife. Some of them were underage, and they were not his wives. They were not his wives. And when Farrakhan came up with that lecture 28 years later, what happened? He lied to the world. The Nation of Islam lied to the world. They were not his wives. Because, like I shown on the newspaper, Muhammad Speaks, dated September 11, 1964, a minister of the Nation of Islam labeled those women, 2 of them at least, prostitutes. So they cannot be prostitutes in 1964, and 28 years later, they become wives. What's your stance on that lie? They killed Malcolm X because they wanted to conceal the inappropriate behavior of their leader. Who's going to put his wife in isolation and charge them, or at least one of them, with adultery? It doesn't make sense at all. But let me just go to the comment. How you doing, brother VB?
Oh, I'm good, Shaka. I'm good. How you doing, brother? Hotel.
I'm chilling, hotel, brother. I was about to just do and it's a long time I wanted to do that, like, free talk, open mic. But, something comes up and then they give me inspiration, to address some different topics. So I just wanted to make clear, following that comment that was left by this Shrine of Maat member, that it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work. You ain't going to be cool with rapists and child molesters and act like you're Kemetic. Being Kemetic is not being cool with rapists and child molesters.
No, and it's good timing, actually. I'm glad they said that. That person made that comment, even though I don't agree with it. But I think it's good, perfect timing, because this goes along with, like, the person obviously doesn't understand what's going on. And what's going on is what everybody have to do to survive. Every culture has to trim off its rotten parts, has to clean up its mess to survive. You can't go on with a sick part of your body. It will kill you eventually, and that's what we're dealing with, man. We're dealing with, like,
Cancer.
decades of illness, that we have tried to overlook, tried to make excuses for, and it has serious consequences for our people. Even if these persons don't realize it, it has serious implications for our people. It's not just the rapists and the pedophiles and the scamming. It's also, like you said, the xenophobia as well. All these things are cancers, man. They speak to the heart of destroying us, destroying any type of fabric of unity, any type of fabric of togetherness, culture, being a people. You can't have these things and be a people. You can't have them. And so I think it's right on time, because look, the rapists and the pedophiles being addressed, the scammers are being addressed. Then why not the xenophobes also? Why should the xenophobes be able to hide? And the xenophobic stuff has gotten a pass for a long time, man. Even just like the rapists and the pedophiles, and now recently the scammers. Actually, the scammer, it's all the same, man. It's like the same people, Shaka. Who's to say that the Nation of Islam don't have problems with pedophilia, rape, scamming? They do. They do. All of this stuff, all these cults, all have that in common. They're all rapists and pedophiles and scammers and xenophobes. That's what they all shown themselves to be, man. Look, they want to self-patrol themselves, but they don't self-patrol. They don't. There's no mechanism for victims to speak out, and it's not just about the rape and the pedophilia in these cults. It's also the scamming. If you want to speak out against that, they will harass you. They will beat you up. They isolate people. They've all been doing this shit for decades, man.
Yeah.
They've all been doing it. And the police obviously have a problem with black cults, meaning they have a problem, even not just black cults, Look, they couldn't take out David Koresh, man. They can't even take out people like that. You see how long that went on, and that it ended with a big old boom, a big old bombing, a big old death, thing where they just tried to take themselves out fighting the FBI. I mean, the United States government has a problem dealing with cults. That's one of its Achilles heels. It has a serious problem dealing with cults, man. And I don't know if it's built into the package, like the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution and all of this shit where, you have the right to have your own religion, and the nation doesn't have an official religion, so that everybody can have their own religion and still come together. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of sick ass shit that's gone on forever. And it is built in the package. I mean, look, the country was started off on slavery, man. Raping and pillaging people, scamming people. I'm not trying to talk about I'm not trying to say that it's not, everyone has a nation no matter what its beginnings are. Everybody has to have some sort of nation, and you don't expect nations to just stop existing because there was somebody who got hurt. No, that doesn't happen. But we have to admit it got birthed through rape, genocide, right? And scamming people openly. I mean, it was a scam. And let's say Britain scammed a lot of motherfuckers too. They raped and pillaged and scammed. They scam. When they talk today about and they don't pay reparations, it's a scam. That's what lets you know justice is a scam ultimately towards our people, because they have not paid reparations. They're still twiddling their fingers about it, right? But having said that, we have to make a choice. We can't have one big ass scam and then at our heels, our own people scamming us. That's the problem. We got it like a boomerang effect. We have our own people saying we'll be part of the scam. We're going to rape. We're going to pillage our own too. And we're going to scam our own. And something got to give, yo. So I think it's right on time, bro. What's up?
JTV. Hold on, JTV, just before you go. If, let's say, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody, but Shirley's family member, child or grandchild gets raped, and she's addressing it, and she finds out that these rapists of her family member is promoting on some channels, some Black Power channels. So she goes, well, that person lets that person speak, that rapist speak. So she's going to end up saying a few names. How will she feel? Somebody says, you're going to stop talking about everybody.
Hey,
somebody's
I don't even know. I don't know
members.
why. I do not know why she give a damn. Look at what House of Consciousness has proven itself to be.
Just the situation with the guy. Sorry, brother Viben.
Yes.
The lady that died. They presented Morpheus as the father. He's not the father. Sanada said he's going to have to look after the grandchildren, and people act like nothing happened.
Hey, look, exactly. And I hate talking about it because it's like the fact that we have to say it again. Morpheus is not the father. Is shameful. The fact that we should have to say that.
Not the stepfather either. Go ahead, VB.
Yeah, and the other man is the stepfather and the father. The other man in the video on TV with the police is the father and the stepfather. He fits both of those titles.
Just clarify that for the people, VB. He's the father of the victim, and he's the stepfather of who?
Morpheus' daughter.
No, it cannot be both. Well, that's not Morpheus' daughter. That's not the one.
No, that's not right. Hold on. Yeah, that's true, man. Let me restate that. Let me change that. He is the father, but if you have two children with a mother, right, and your relationship stops, and another man comes in and lives with those children and raises those children, that's what a stepfather is. That man moved in there, right? I mean, is he the one who moved in and kept and took care of these kids like his own? He brought it, and had new children with the mother. That's what a stepfather basically is. Morpheus is not that. That's all. And nobody's saying Morpheus is not family. Nobody's saying Morpheus is not a friend or family. But to give yourself those titles, that's disingenuous. That's all. It's incorrect. It's false.
And that's a shame that they could not even admit that, and the GoFundMe as well was there 11 days ago, 11 days prior. Reggie knew it because he actually participated in it, but instead of sharing that GoFundMe, they shared some cash app for some LLC, and even Garfield said he didn't know. I mean, I don't even need to repeat myself. Go ahead, JTV. How you doing, brother?
Hi guys. Yeah, good night to you all.
Yeah,
I
what's
was
up, Jay?
hi V Bennett. Hi Shaka. How are you, man?
Oh, chilling. What's on your mind, brother?
No, just here. I was because I can't get into your chat at the moment, so it's on
Yeah, don't worry. It's
members
all
mode.
good.
So I just
What's good, brother?
I
What's
thought
good?
I'd just jump up, man. But one of the points I kind of must agree with. America has a big problem with cults. From the starting days. The English, well, maybe not the English, but the Protestants left England and went to America, and it seems to be ever since. Not just the blacks, the whites as well. You got the Mormons, the Quakers. You just mentioned David Koresh.
Yeah. All of them got pedophiles. All of them got
Yes. They
pedophile
reflect.
scammers. All of them.
Yeah, they're Jim Jones. I don't know if you remember Jim Jones. He went all the way to Guyana and had a massive a part of land down there doing the same thing. The church, heavily involved in slavery, heavily involved in the Catholic Church, heavily involved in sexual abuse of young boys, and then as I say, like America seems to be for a first world, as they say, like first world country, and that they seem to be leading with cults, and it's never ending. And a lot of people are going to get hurt again, and it's a shame to see. So that's what I thought. What's this down there? So that's
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sad
you know,
state
Jay.
of affairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, sure. You go ahead, man.
It's kind of like how I see it. It's kind of like it's like making it into the American, becoming American. That should be a book, yo. Becoming American should be a book because it's almost like to fit into the club, you have to take on that sick shit. It's like you have to have your own cult, to become American in a sense, because they had been allowed to exist, for a minute now. And so why not black people too? Why can't black people have their cults? If the whites can have their cults, why can't black people? But that shit is a death trap for black people because we're number one, we're already, have been oppressed in the country. And cults do nothing but oppress their own people. That's what they do. They cannot oppress the government. They're free to just oppress their own people. And that's what David Koresh did. They had a few blacks, but ultimately they oppressed those white folk. I mean, it's like, but then you have Jim Jones. He had some black people there too. That's okay. That's unique. I guess that's the 70s, 80s, it's this period where blacks could join, you could be a black person in a cult now, but then you have like the Mormons. Yeah. They all have their exception. The Mormons, they also got a whole belief where they even look down on black people. But now the new spin on it is that you could join if you're black. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. So they all have this like welcome to the club version of their cult today. And even in the NOI, they try to clean themselves up, and now they let white people and Spanish and all this other, everybody else is welcome in the club too. Of course, it's so weird, but I mean, for black folk, I didn't
It's
grow up in no
detrimental,
goddamn
isn't
cult.
it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
have a
well, luckily,
generational thing. We got
yeah,
a
luckily,
generational thing. Yeah, my
yeah. I
family
mean,
didn't make
mm,
me go to church. My family didn't make me. I'm one of
mm,
from the generation where it's like I'm one of the first generations where my family did not
mm,
make me go to any of that stuff. They didn't. They wanted me to be to learn about math, science. They wanted me to choose things myself. They didn't want to
mm.
indoctrinate me into this anything. You know, my parents were like, he's going to figure this out as he goes along. He will see what's true from what's not true. You know, and so I didn't have to go to any of that stuff, and thank God I didn't have to. Thank the gods I didn't have to. You see what I mean? And yeah, so
So,
I'm more.
so saying
Yeah,
that,
go ahead.
saying that, VB and Shaka, you know, like, it doesn't happen much in England. I'm not sure about France or Denmark. But say, where do we move forward? What's gonna? I mean, the way I look at it, we've tried the communism. Um, is it capitalism? Is it we need a new political step or a new way of thinking? A new, what would it be?
Well, personally, brother, I don't think we need politics now. I think it's good to vote because it matters. It plays a part in our livelihood, you know, in a society, you know, because a lot of so-called black power people, they've always deterred people from voting and are being kind of suspicious about that. Maybe something that's planned with some, you know, powers that be. But because a lot of them say, you know, that voting is useless, you're going to vote with somebody, you know, you're going to vote between one devil and another devil or blah, blah, blah. But then when things go wrong, they be like, "Oh man, look what's going on! It's messed up. They ain't doing anything for us." You know what I'm saying? They ain't feeding the homeless and they giving, you know, support to all these migrants, like Willie D would say, for example. But
Right.
Willie D
So
from the
yeah,
rap
I
groups,
understand.
from the rap group, Ghetto Boys, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's entitled to his stance. You know what I'm saying? I prefer somebody that's upfront about how he feels about migrants. You know, but what I don't like is those faking the phone talking about Africa all day, African history. You know what I'm saying? And then you find out they don't like Africans, so they consider them inferiors, and not just Africans, but anybody that's not American. And we have seen that with Bob Banger, with Pum Pum Smash Rockwell, with Punk
And
Beach,
Judah
Brother
Nats.
Reggie. Oh, Judah Lasso is I mean, he's way worse.
He don't like Africans. I've never heard him, but
Oh, feel free to
um
ask him.
no, I will ask
Yeah,
him.
but just hold on,
But
brother J, please, if you don't mind. Now, for example, Chinese people, you don't really see them in politics, but they are thriving. You know what I'm saying? See, we need to have enough in common. You see, the people who do well, they usually share a language in common. Sorry, in common, a culture in common, and many times a religion in common. You understand what I'm saying? So far, what is our culture? Making excuses for rapists and child molesters? We have
well,
to get
that's
rid
not
of that.
good for moving
And
forward,
and
is it?
and,
I
and,
mean,
and hold on, JTV, please. I'm sorry, brother. Hold on. We've seen what happened recently on the House of Conscious Mess. Now, the brother David is not anonymous and unidentified. He wrote it was signed as a secret cash app. Talking about the what was it? Matrix Musics, the LLC. I didn't know that. Now, furthermore, he wrote that he's seen them post that Matrix Music Cash App before. And when he wrote before, it means before the young lady was found, her body was found. You know, before she was assassinated. How serious is that? How serious is that? Of course, they're not going to address it. They're not going to put a magnifying glass on it. But they're going to have those debates about rape. How old can you rape? Is it okay to rape? If she's virgin, can you rape? But go ahead, JTV.
and then you got the defenders. The problem is you can only get away with so much. But people are defending them. People are not standing up. It seems people are even willing to give away their children or their family. I mean, we don't know. Maybe when it happens to a family member, um, then it hits home. But that's not fair because at the end of the day, it could be one of your family members. what I was saying about the not the current state of voting for politics or anything now. What could we think of something else? Maybe how come we haven't thought of another political system, another way of life that could benefit all people that do for an example, do horrific crimes like sexual crimes to youngsters get dealt with properly, and a new mindset, a new thinking of way of life, which I think is the way. So when you said China, Mao actually he did kind of put them straight, you know. So they don't celebrate Christmas. They lots of other stuff like that. So
And sorry,
China
brother,
was
for the
actually
record, I meant Chinese people in the West. That's what I meant. Usually
oh
we don't see them in politics, but they are still thriving. But go
you
ahead.
mean in the okay, yeah, but yeah. Do you ever see them in the police force? You know,
Rarely, rarely.
so mostly business minded when they're in our
Yes.
countries. They're doing the business. They're taking over Jamaica. They're taking over the ports in
And the many consume
Kenya.
among themselves. The many consume among themselves.
They
I don't know.
they
Sorry,
do.
brother. I don't know in England if they have a lot of those buffet. You know.
Yeah,
I
Chinese
don't know.
restaurants.
Yeah, restaurants, but they have buffet. Basically, eat all you can and all that. When you take the
Yeah.
drinks, a lot of time the drinks come from their place, and it's only like 25 centiliters. I mean, I don't know the English stuff. You have different quantity
Yeah.
type, but yeah, a lot of time that's the way to get down. But go ahead, brother JTV.
Well, so I mean, there's a Chinese restaurant around the corner from me. They're very I would say they keep to themselves. They don't really, you don't see them in anybody else's shop. You don't see them.
And their employees, it's rare that they will employ
Or,
non-Chinese. Sometimes if they need extra
never.
labor, holiday or
Yeah.
whatever, they may do it. But usually that's only Chinese people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody bothers them. Nobody tells them anything. They have the Chinese New Year. They'll rock around with their dragon, and nobody just tell them
Well,
anything. But us,
can I
go
just
ahead,
say
go
this
ahead,
as
go ahead.
well?
Yeah, yes,
I
of
don't know
course.
if
Go
you've
ahead.
got Shaka. Have you got a Chinatown in
Kind of
France?
in Paris, it's
Right.
kind of, but it's a big
So
word to
in
say that. But yeah, they have a
is
an
it a
area
bad
that
word? So,
no, no,
but
no, 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 not that's a bad word, but it's like Chinatown, like they have in New York, and they might have one in LA. It's really like, but in Paris, there's an area where they are concentrated, but we don't really have that nickname for it. That's what I was trying to say, because
well,
yeah.
in England, it's not a nickname. That's what it's called. Chinatown. It's right in the
Yeah,
West End. You seen
yeah.
it? You've been there. You've been there, VB.
Nah, but
China.
we got one in DC too. I mean, they have that. That's what we call it in the West. But and that's something. Ironically enough, that's a political thing, man. In DC, it's a political thing. Like the mayor, um, Chinese. What happened was that Chinese people. I hate to say Chinese because technically it's not just Chinese, but right. But let's say Chinese people are a big number, right? They lobby they centralized their efforts for survival against discrimination, for business and things like this. And then the mayor acknowledged those efforts. They bought property in areas that were undesirable at that moment. That no, and so they provided a service for the community. And then when they made that a valuable area, then the value went up, and the city acknowledged that through helping them buy more into that area, so they wouldn't lose it. Now today, the Chinatown in DC, it's taken over by Fortune 500 European developers, American European developers, because they have all the money. So it's kind of like a deal, you know what I mean? Kind of meeting them for their efforts, inclusion versus paying them off for their efforts, for being organized and for providing the service, being a service, really. You see now, and I'm pretty sure it's a similar thing in New York City and across the world. It's both sides of it. They also have oppressive persons within their group that oppress each other and maybe won't go out and do it to others either, you know? And I think this is something we got to discuss. But the issue is we're discussing our issue. We don't want to divert and say, well, the Chinese do it too. Fuck that. Let's talk about our shit for a change. You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with our problems because
every time we talk about our problems, you know, it's like it's not really moving us. It's like we're still dealing with.
Well, the people in our group say, why don't you? They say, hey, all the other groups do it. Why ain't you talking about them? But fuck that. It's our group we care about first.
Exactly.
Let's talk about our problems, you know?
But if they can do it, why can't we? I mean,
if they talk about it too. They talk about their problems. Just because we don't know it, it's because we ain't Chinese. We don't speak Chinese. We don't write Chinese. I'm sorry, because they speak different languages. Chinese ain't one language.
China, you've got Mandarin, Cantonese.
Exactly. They write one language, but they don't speak one language. You know what I mean? Too. So you have groups within them also. You know.
But check this out, brothers. Now, it's not just the Chinese people. Which other group of people, ethnic group, do we see publicly making excuses for rapists and child molesters and scammers?
Hey, you know what? Shaka. If somebody, not to cut you off, Jay, but exactly. And you know what? If a Chinese person said, well, the blacks do it too, they would get laughed at if they said that. Other Chinese would be like, man, if an Italian said, well, the blacks do it too. If a Jewish person said, well, the blacks do it too, what the fuck? We're the only people saying that. Nobody else is saying that. Nobody else accepts that as a standard. Well, the blacks do it. Everybody who does that is looked at as sick. Can you imagine your daughter out there twerking at 11 at night on a school night and shit, and then the answer is, well, the Chinese do it too, the Jews do it too. No, so not that it's just that, not that twerking is just an issue, and in some cases twerking an issue. Hey, it's not an issue at all, but 11 at night on a school night, fuck that. That's got to be an issue for everybody. Your kid is supposed to be in school the next day, not out on the street at 11 at night on a school night. You see what I mean? So, I mean, we make these excuses, Shaka, and nobody else. The thing about America and the Western world is they give you the latitude to be who you want to be. That's what freedom is. But they also give you the latitude to hang yourself.
Indeed. Now, I came through a video, and I think the dude has 1 million subscribers now. He used to be doing the debates on the, I forgot his name, on the Speaker's Corner. Yeah, he has 1 million subscribers now. Ali Dawa.
Yeah, I see him. I saw him in Stratford the other day.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Now here,
I see him.
So some people can see I'm not making that up. So that's the dude there. He came a long way, He's not really the great, when the few times I've seen him, he's not really the greatest debater out there, you know what I'm saying? He's very emotional.
Well, the last one, you see this last one here, Shaka, at the top. You see that black man there? There's 3 black men there, but on the thumbnail, the one with the glasses, his name is called Leo Chester. He used to be
Leo Muhammad. He used to be doing in a series like a soap opera.
Real McCoy. He was a comedian.
Yeah, I met him in Birmingham because I was living in England.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I went to one of the NOI meeting. It's really because I wanted to buy a book. What was the name of the book again? It was by a guy who used to go by something like The Investigator or something like that. And I think the book was called Free Your Mind.
Wow.
And then they told me, okay, they said it over there. So I ended up going and sat down and I was with my back then my Jamaican girlfriend back then, and so
Ali, what were you saying about him? Because I was quite surprised as well. I
just wanted to say that, and I think I have it on my channel, but Leo Muhammad, sorry, he is doing auditing you know, the Scientology, and I want to look for the
Yeah, what
video.
is all that Scientology thing? That's strange.
Hold
That's
on.
another strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, but black people, you just somebody tells them, it's
Like
somebody
Tom Cruise.
that well, it's deeper than that,
Man, we're gypsies, man. We like not to make gypsy a bad word, not to because there are people that were that's a generalization, that term gypsy, but basically means wanderer. Wanderer from one thing to the next, and we have a lot of that. Look at that, what we have. Just African Americans, we have Nation of Islam, which is pseudo Islam. Not that the real Islam is not pseudo, religion. It's all of it's, because if you can't prove it to be true, and if it's not factually true, then why be out there trying to believe it and make people believe it and tell people they have to believe this to be part of it, But we have our own version. We have the Asiatic Black Man Islam, Nation Islam. Then we have these Black Hebrew Israelites. And by the way, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that for another day. What I was about to say about them, but then we have Christian groups. We have if you think the Black Hebrew Israelites or something, they're not even the ones, man. They got the Christian group that's just as nutty before that, that's been brought in for pedophilia, brought into by the FBI for all of these same type of same crimes, man. Then we have the Moors. Now, the Moors, which is a spinoff of another American thing. All these groups are American spinoff groups, man. None of them can really say that they're original in anything. They're just something that people decided, if we put a black twist on it, it will work for African Americans. We'll just put a black thing on it, and African Americans will accept it because, hey, we are yearning for something. But damn, where was I going with this point, bro? In any case, it's problematic behavior. It's problematic. It's problematic to our people, man, especially when the aspect of lawlessness within it, the fact that people are not protected. You don't have rights. If you saw what Farrakhan did with this phone conversation with Rizza Islam, he is judging over himself. He's judging over a rape case. Now, obviously, he cannot be the judge. Obviously, this man one person cannot reside over. Come on, what is that? You know what I mean? I mean,
victim shaming, victim blaming too.
Yes, exactly. So really, what's going on is it's just people hiding, trying to hide what's bad. If something happens bad, you hide it. That's how you deal with it. You hide it because we're gonna have a nation one day, and that's what all these cults do. That's what they all have in common. Bad behavior doesn't get dealt with because they're trying to build a nation. They're trying to have more members, which really means they're trying to have more followers so the pyramid could work. The person at the top, the few people at the top can get more money. That's all it is. It's capitalism. It's exploitation inside of America, inside of the scheme of being American. You see what I mean? And so at some point it's got to give. We have so many groups like that per percentile of our people. I mean, we're only how many million? And we got this many different this many different cults. It makes no sense.
They are the derivatives of the Abrahamic belief system. It's always the trap that we are in. But here, just for the record, I found a video. It's entitled "Nation of Islam's Dianetics Has Reached Europe," and we can hear Leo Mohammed, the British Nation of Islam representative, who says that he's doing the just for Scientology Dianetic, auditing. You understand what I'm saying? And that guy who founded it, that science fiction writer, L. Ron Hubbard, was niggerphobic. He didn't like black people. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing, he said some things negative about Islam as well. But you know,
And
they
then
they, they had the
they're running
alliance.
over there.
They had the alliance because of money. Now that being said, that dude Ali Dawa, you know, he's been trying to holler the NOR. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to do the same with the Ahmadiyya and the Shia and the Sufi. But that being said,
Well, what I sorry,
hold
Shaka,
on,
to
hold on,
cut
hold on,
you.
please, hold on. Do
Yeah.
you see this video right here? Hijabi caught doing this in gym. I just
What
watched
was
the
he doing?
beginning. No, this Ali Dawa is commenting, you know, like you see, he's hitting that stuff. So I just watched the video, the beginning, even though it's only 6 minutes long. So this lady here, she does videos at the gym, and Muslims are bothered because her buttocks is not covered, you know. And you, when you read the comments, you will have many comments talking about many females who stop going to the gym and they exercise at home, or they want to go to gyms where they have women only time, or swimming pools
That's
where they
right.
have women only time. So you can only imagine if they have some chicks twerking and all that. Now that's their way, that's their thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying for
But
the
what I
record.
got, but
Yeah,
Shaka,
go ahead.
what I got from Ali Dawa, what he revealed to me is something that I always found with Muslims. They do not like black people, right?
Well,
That's what I got off.
they will
Sorry,
claim
I don't, you know,
they
that's
will
what
claim
I
the
caught off
opposite.
that.
They will claim the opposite for the JTV. But then, if a black person wants to marry their sister, we're gonna see.
Oh,
We're gonna see.
so yeah, I mean, there was a time, a few cases in England. You can all check it out, where the daughter has married out of the religion with a black man. She comes back home, and her uncles, her father, and her close relatives are there. They beat her to death, roll her
Honor
into
killings.
yes, sir. They put her into the carpet, put her in the back of the boot. The father goes down to the police station and says, "My daughter is in the boot." So
And they call that honor
it's a
killing.
shock.
It's not
Yeah.
just with
So when
black people, also non-Muslims or sometimes people from different tribes. But go ahead, JTV.
Hindus do it to Muslim and Hindus if they go out of the religion. So but what I catch every time Nation of Islam, the Muslims will say that they're not preaching the right thing, and all I get from it is that they don't like. There is this hatred for the black man in the Nation of Islam is strong, but within the whole Muslim thing, he's got no power there at all.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, the reality is that indeed, the Nation of Islam is they are not Orthodox Muslim. That's a fact, you know, and their main disagreement, the main disagreement is them teaching that Allah is a man. For all Muslims worldwide, damn near all Muslims is what they call shirk, depending on the pronunciation, that they
okay,
as association to make partners with Allah, the only sin that Allah will not forgive. You see, and indeed in the Quran 112, it says that God begets not, nor is he begotten. But the Nation of Islam teaches that Allah came in the person of Father Muhammad. He was born in 1877, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a father called Alfonso and a mother called Baby G. But go ahead, JTV.
yes, sir. So same thing with we spoke about the is it the Mormons and stuff like that. Is it someone Smith? I don't know if he made the Mormons or something
Yeah,
like that.
John
And
Smith. John Smith,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something
So
like
when I
that.
read up on stuff like that, the black man was not allowed to teach, the woman as well. Also,
Yeah,
quite an
man.
important thing.
All of these groups, all these religions. I mean, just to simplify it, is that all of these religions existed when anti-black racism was at its height, which
Right.
means black people were the slave, premier slave in the West. All of these religions saw that period. And so the question is, what did they do about it? And they accepted it and integrated it as part of
Exactly.
their belief. You
And
see,
then they've done it
so
themselves, didn't they? They started to do it to the congregation. They started
they
to act like
participated in it. They
right.
participated in it. They participated in it. They
Like
They
Samuel
did
Jackson in Django.
like Samuel Jackson and Django. Oh, you mean to the extent that there were some black people? Yeah, of course, man. This is, listen, Jade, because you're talking about the premiere event. So when you're talking about the premiere event, that means that it's so premier. It's the thing that, of course, you're basically going to participate, or you're going to be cut out of any reward. But of course, in this game, the black person was going to be at the bottom because you're black. You see, so
Exactly.
even if you participated as a black person, I mean, to what, it's like the most vile thing to participate in, because you're basically participating in the oppression of your own people to to an extreme. So it's just like being a pimp, you could say. I mean, it's the same thing. Same
Yeah,
type of thing.
Iceberg
You know.
Slim. So like the also the rise, what Shaka was saying, there's a massive rise in sexual harassment, as he's talking about women are not going to the gyms. There's a lot of changes within the workforce. A couple of companies, I think it was a massive company in England that got done for sexual harassment. The top guy had to resign. So it's something that is on the increase. Violence against
Mhm.
women. Look what's happened to Morpheus, his stepdaughter,
I'm
Jamaica.
sorry, brother. That's not his
So,
stepdaughter.
His family
oh, it's
member.
not his
Yeah,
step.
just even Reggie Butler Reggie himself said it. Reggie was in a relationship with a woman. They were not married. He had a couple of children with her also. He separated from that woman. He separated with the woman. Then she got with another man and had some
Right.
children. And the girl is the child that
One of
the
those.
lady had with another man after he
After.
separated. So
Right. So
he's not
he's
the father. He's not the stepfather either. When Reggie
exactly
tried to do
right.
damage control, he put stepfather in the title, and even that's inaccurate. But go ahead, JTV.
Yeah. So the rise, the violence, and so we can see even in the comments, a lady had a problem with Shaka talking about it, and that's a female. So it's we're in for a rough ride if we're going to be taken seriously moving forward. Um, you know, uh, where's our standards? Um, it's unacceptable behavior, and if there's a problem, you need to remedy it. And it seems to be just something that's going to be accepted. And I think, I don't know, I mean, even in the prisons in England, there's a lot more people, black males, being sent down for rape. At one point, you never used to have that, so many young black men on the well, they call it the nonces wing, because it's all segregated at some prisons. They can't keep them in certain places. So there's a rise of the black men committing sexual crimes, murder against women.
Well, Jay, if you look at it like this, before, the issue with attacking women is basically been normalized. It's normalized. So now the issue is, more people are talking about it, how society treats women in general, not just about, the pay grade and do they get paid the same for the same job or anything like that. Not that, but just how you're treated outside of your job, how men treat women, and also not for the health of women, but also for the health of men. I mean, do you want, or is your relationship with a woman, your wife or the mother of your kids, or your girlfriend, or your daughter, your sister, your anything, your cousin, is it going to come down to how big her ass is or the content of her character? I mean, that's what we're talking about. And a lot of men, sadly enough, um, don't, are really fetishing on a black woman's ass and not fetishing on the content of her character. And that's what we're talking about ultimately. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Sexualizing our women, and that's harmful to us because it's
Yes.
dehumanizing. It means we're being sick essentially. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say is that it's damn. You raised a good point. You were talking about damn. What were you just saying before this? It's something just slipped my mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, was it about the increase of young black males in prison? Was it the treatment of women?
Yeah,
Can't remember
the
what.
increase and then the treatment of women. What well the thing about the women has taken the forefront in Western society now, right? But the issue of xenophobia among black people is this has the potential to be just as dangerous and is just as dangerous because
Well,
of our history,
yeah.
our particular history, the fact that we were separated from our homeland and we were thrown into a bunch just for slave purposes, for capitalistic purposes, and the fact that we have not gotten reparations yet for us, any of our groupings of people that went through colonization and slavery, that's potentially just as dangerous for us to practice. And that's what I wanted to say. So we have to root out that behavior, not because we don't have different nationalities or that we won't have different nationalities in the future, but just the fact that we have different nationalities, it shouldn't make us ignorant. We shouldn't be ignorant and disrespectful of that or conflate that to mean that we are different or opposed to each other. It's just a fact. If you live in Washington D.C., you're a Washingtonian. If you live in L.A., you're from L.A. But we're the same goddamn people with the same history. So, and that's the same thing if you're any type of African or diaspora. And the fact that these people try to conflate it into being we are against each other, we are different to that extreme, we've never seen that before. We've never seen that before in our
It's
politics.
an old war
That's
trick, isn't it? I
dangerous.
mean,
Yeah.
England
Yeah.
perfected the divide and rule, but
Oh,
obviously,
yes.
yes, sir, the divide and rule, and it's just. But I mean, we know what they're doing. So how they're not even they're uh, managing from afar now. They're not in our countries as oppressors. They're oppressing us from afar. So now it's coming down to ourselves oppressing ourselves and dividing each other from African, from Caribbeans, even the Caribbeans. I mean, a group of Haitians came over to Jamaica, and I think it was 30 on the boat, and you know there is no compassion. There's no. It's as if that person's from over there, we're from over here. Um, Africa the same way. We we experience frictions among ourselves in England. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're not getting along. We're not pulling together. Oh, I wanted to also say about the money. The amount of money that there's. Sorry, I'm gonna maybe go off a quick one just because I forgot what I was gonna say. The amount of money that these um, cults or uh, churches and whatever is making, could even throw the drug dealers into it. Black people in the whole, and nothing really positive. No schools, no hospitals. They have enough money to change certain things. Maybe a university or something. So there's a lot of money wasted. Uh, the amount of money we saw the Nation of Islam was making with contributions. We all know, some church followers that they'll be giving them all their money, and say Scientology. I suppose you have to give over a certain amount of money as well. So it's the money's going again. The drug dealers, their money gets taken away, and then while they have the money, they're spending it on luxury goods, you know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it's just everything we do just seems to be in a in a in a negative. It's a negative
Look, they have
impact on ourselves.
the leadership, the members pay for the leadership. That's the problem. So it's not charity. These organizations, this is not a charity event. You know, a large part of that funding goes to pay for someone else's lifestyle. And this is a typical thing in all these religions, man, in all these type of cults, like the priest. Think about this, man. Let's just think about the rationality of this. You're a priest, but the members of the church take tithes, and those tithes are there to pay for you, for your home, for your lifestyle, your shoes, your car, your electricity, your water, your health insurance, your retirement. And guess what you're pushing and peddling? The Bible. You're expert at the Bible. That's all it takes. And I'm not dissing. I'm just saying rationally, this is what's going on. And all these other cults and religions, they have the same format. But why? My question is this: why can't you go to work and preach that Bible at the same time? Why can't you earn an honest day's living and preach the Bible yourself if you really believe in it? Why can't you do it? And that's what I have a problem with it, because that means it's really not charity. So all of this money is not really going to our communities. It's a cult. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's how
Hi,
I see it.
Andrea.
Hi, Jay. Yep, I agree with you
Hey,
on that one.
Sandra.
Hey, Shaka. I agree with you on that, VB, because the problem is people don't want to read. You don't want to read and see what it says for yourself. That's where we get in trouble. We don't want to take time to anything. And until they do, I mean, people can pull scripture out and make you and beat you upside the head with just one scripture to make you give money. And because they don't want to take the time to read to understand what it is, even if if you choose to stay in it, you choose to stay in those, you need to read for yourself, because I guarantee by the time you get done reading, you don't want to be there no more. Yeah, it's just that simple. I mean, from the tithing to the offerings and all that kind of, they read it, they wouldn't be doing that no more. But when you don't read, and I mean, you got to read more than one little verse. I just try to tell people, look, all of those are their books in the Old Testament and their letters in the New Testament. The only reason why they made them scripture, they added numbers in front of sentences. That's the only thing that made them a scripture. Who reads a letter? If you wrote a letter to your wife, your girlfriend, you wrote it just to her. You didn't write it to everybody. Same thing with Corinth. They wrote it to, Paul wrote them. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if Paul wrote letters to Corinthians, how does that apply to everybody else? If he wrote it, it's just they just don't read it for what it is, and that's where you get in trouble. So,
Yeah. And I mean, shouldn't these groupings, shouldn't they be volunteer? I mean, out of all the other things people do to volunteer every day that make a difference in society, they're not supposed to be volunteers. It's like, what's that all about? Like, they're doing less.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting is that we have those Abrahamic belief system, and mainly Judaism and Christianity and Islam, that ultimately caused us 1400 years of slavery combined, and we have black folks making excuses for it. So the smart ones, yeah, they make a living out of it. There's this system in place, and they want those systems to remain in place because they are the people at the top, they are benefiting. And when I say at the top, I'm talking about the black community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like all those inaccurate teachings, those false teachings, whether it's the Nation of Islam teaching that teach that Africans are living in a jungle land, that Africans are not civilized, or the Moorish Science Temple of America that teach the Moors, the Moorish people, who teach that black means death according to science, you know. And the Hebrew Israelite teaching, I mean, some of the, I mean, we've seen those cats just saying publicly that, you know, according to the scripture, you can grab a Roman and rape her. And you see them
The
making
crux,
excuses. Come again?
the crux of it is they're not reformist. I mean, and that's going to be the end of it. You know, they're
Yeah.
not reforming the problematic things within it. If they wanted it to continue, they would reform it. You see, but they're too, the fact that they're resistant to reform shows you what they're up to. It shows you what they're up to. You know, because a lot of these things are, it's quite obvious it has to be reformed. It's so obvious that for it to be of any good in the future or even today, it must be reformed. But yet they are resistant to it.
But
You see,
you
and
know why, you
yeah.
know why they don't want to reform it, brother VB, because they consider that it's the word of God. Some
Hmm.
writings is strong. Some writings are just stronger than these human beings. Their former slave master told them this is the word of God, and they believed it. And now they are
Yeah.
doing cultural appropriation. We know who
Yeah.
brought forth this belief system when it comes to the writings, most particularly. You know what I'm saying? So they have decided to be slaves. Fine, it's a free country, but then they want to criticize us for not wanting to be slaves, and that has to
Hmm.
stop. That has to stop. Like, okay, do you, I do me. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's bad enough that they are doing cultural appropriation now, and we've seen that for the last few months that they have been attacking us because we are against rapists. You know, Jabari Osaze has made a choice. I don't want him to do something just to make me happy. And once again, I said you judge people by their own standards. When he was polite, he spoke. He said polite should be on timeout, and here he is kicking. We've seen him on tape kicking with Tazaria. Now I know some people are going to say, "Oh, that's because you lost of weighing." As if there's such a thing. You know, when people are about to have a fight and they see each other, they get on the scale. There's no, oh, he's standing down the most, so he won. You know, but fine. Now there's even Napasha Da. She's live now. Sanetta created a new stuff, a new channel. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's feeling the heat coming.
Yeah,
How
there's
come
a
the
new
Pasha Da?
channel.
Yeah, how come the
Come up.
Pasha Da? How come the Pasha Da doesn't come clean about the accusation? I mean, these folks, at the end of the day, hey, it's
Yeah.
okay because it's documented. Go ahead, Sister Andra.
Yeah, I was gonna say people want to fight you over somebody. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
people will fight you over. They want to fight you about if you say something about their pastor. I mean, people talking about. I mean, you just listen to some of the stuff on the other. They want to fight each other with some. I mean, it's just. I'm like stop already. We have enough problems out having to add something else to the mix, right? We got enough stuff that we need to work on, and this shouldn't be one of them. Religion should not be one of them. You know, if you want to believe that way, go on about yourself. It's okay. I'm okay. You do what you do, you. But it doesn't need to be to the point where don't you be talking about my pastor? Don't you be talking about so and so? I mean, that is it's just so ridiculous. As if that person's gonna get you in your religion in heaven or hell. As if that person has the power to do that. I mean, it just gets so asinine after a certain period of time where all we got to do is just be good human beings. Treat people like I'm gonna go back to with B Bennett and with that treat people how you want to be treated. It's really that simple. It's just not hard. And then if somebody gets disrespected, you might need to get a little a little lip service. But other than that, you know, that
And and
hard.
and and indeed, and you see, besides the religion or the so-called culture, because we have these black folks talking about in the Hebrew culture, like since when the Hebrew culture is your culture? I mean,
Mm.
those cats, they're doing anachronism, cultural appropriation. They're just making stuff up as they go. We have Zion Lex on tape, talking about the story of Dinah, Genesis chapter 34, who got raped. And he says that she was with it. She liked the guy. He actually said that they had sex and they got married when she
Mhm.
got raped. He's on tape saying that. And the funny thing, when I say funny, strange thing, is that he said that speaking with the mother of the police victim who was present. You know, so when it comes to economy, because some people, oh, religion usually really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's private, it's personal. We need economy. Who are they being pushing forward? Dr. Boyce Watkins, right? The person who owns a channel, Pocket Watching with JT, he started addressing Boyce Watkins. You know what I'm saying? You know, Michi X talked about him and others as well, you know, and there's other people as well.
Yeah, he's a scam artist, basically. Sadly enough, I mean, you know, he's a guy that sat back and he's promoting this agenda where it's like the what they call Trumpian disinformation, you know, uh basically, you know, you could even say it's Russian promotion, you know, the dang, what's the words I could put on it? What is steroid politics, you know, has the Russian injection into it, you know, that makes it go viral, you know, and on these pseudo media platforms that nobody, you know, that no one can track down and trace who owns them, you know. All of a sudden they put out that message with their megaphone, and he promotes it on his platform as, and he justifies it by saying, well, black people shouldn't be beholden to the Democratic Party like we're beholden to any party, like we've ever been beholden to. That doesn't make any damn sense anyway, because we've never been beholden. How the hell did we become Democrats if we're beholden to any party? You know?
And you
So
have
it's just like
Brandon now doing the
we
same thing.
switch when we want to switch, when we feel like switching. And it's never been all have been a part of one party, but he gives that line and then he tells you sell all your property, invest it in crypto. Ha ha ha. Like crypto is going to be the new US dollar or something. Like crypto is going to replace the US. Is he out of his mind? But again, he adopted again that new thing that's being sold, that new product line, crypto. Crypto is going to save the black community when it's just another hustle, basically. You got to know when to
Snake
get
oil
in
sellers.
and when to get out. Yeah, and if you don't get out, you lose everything. If you don't know when to get in and get out, if you don't know when to get out, you lose everything. What kind of thing is that to sell, to try to tell someone to sell their pension for, to invest in crypto? Come on, you know, but that's literally what he told people. And it's so sad, you know, and we have so much of it right now. It's hard for for people to see through the woods, through the trees, I mean, because there's so many of these types of new scams popping up. If we don't call it out for what it is, we're the ones that's going to pay the biggest price, just because there's more scammers per percentage and some than other groups have to deal with. So obviously it's like when you watch YouTube, if you watch if you watch the conscious community over and over and over, well, the shit that YouTube's going to sell back to you is more the same, you know, through the algorithm. It's the same thing in reality, you know, like if we keep allowing these kind of scammers to just go free, that's ultimately what we're all going to get back is a scam directed us, you know. So we have to speak out against it. And you know, if we don't speak out against it, it's like the same as any other vice. You allow it to grow, it spreads, and beyond what other groups would, beyond the level that it will spread in other groups that are trying to be accountable to some degree, you know, to some larger extent. And that we don't have to do more than what other groups do, but we need to be responsible also, you know. And then we will have an opportunity to thrive as well, you know, at least survive for the next day, for the next battle. You know, nobody knows where the war is not guaranteed, but we can win this battle. We could be in it and, you know, get to the next step, to a next position where we can reevaluate the situation. But right now it's not looking good. We have a lot of Americanism, I would say, American capitalism, like just sell. Yeah, snake oil salesman. That's considered a success. If you can sell somebody a bullshit product and get some money in your pocket for today, that's the success. You've reached it. And then tomorrow, You just look at what the effects are tomorrow and hope it's not a nightmare.
And,
It's
and, and, and we have the so-called conscious community. There's been a clear scamming attempt, and people act like nothing happened. But Reggie try to do some scam explaining. Now when it comes to the products, some people will say gear, clothing. We all wear clothing, but you have a lot of these cats who've been selling some products, with promises that these products will make you healthy. The alkaline water, the crystals, and so many other things. Some will even sell candles and stuff like that. Love candles, luck candles, prosperity, money candles. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just straight up gullible, man. And the xenophobia is causing
Suckers.
people to just consume phony products just because it's somebody from their same country who told them about it. And xenophobia will be the downfall of many. Amazingly, when it comes to so-called scholarship, a lot of time the scholars that they quote are of European descent or straight up European. You know what I'm saying? It suits them then, right? But they want to be on some, CMB, we all that we got. This dude, Ishmael Bey, who lied about his passport. Let me just play. It's not long. Let me just play.
Okay. So those lessons.
What is
so
your
in the
nationality, brother Ish?
I'm a Moor, brother. I'm a Moor. I'm also Muskogee Creek.
Do you have a
Moor.
passport?
Yes.
What is written in the nationality field in your passport?
Oh, I'm a U.S. citizen.
But what is written in the nationality field of your passport?
My census is a Moor.
You're telling me it says Moor in your passport in the nationality field?
Yeah, I'm a Moor.
No, that's not what I'm asking you. What I'm asking you is, in your passport, there's a nationality field. What is written in that field?
I'm a Moor, brother.
Yes, brother Ishmael, you know very well that's not the question I'm asking you. In your passport, because you said you have a passport, there's a nationality field. Now, what is written in the nationality field?
Moor.
You're telling me that more is written in the nationality field of your passport?
Absolutely, brother.
Can you show and prove that?
If I have to, absolutely, brother.
I have him on tape, but he was a Amira squad member saying, you talk about you got all this love for Africa. Africans sold us. It was business deal. They didn't give an F about us. They didn't even send an empty canoe for us to row ourselves back. We are all that we got. And I'm gonna look for the audio. Hopefully I'll be able to find it and let you hear. So keep going, brothers.
Just another lie, another unqualified lie. I mean, for someone to be able to say that, it's like, how can you prove that no one sent a canoe? I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. The reality is not that. The reality is that people really literally fought over this issue even before it became an issue, and while it was an issue, and even half. But the thing is, it's just like history. If you never discover it, then you don't know. And as you know, history is being discovered every day. For somebody to make that assertion and not have to prove it at all, this is the type of foolishness and open bigotry that is problematic that we're discussing. Just because you can make a statement doesn't make it true. The person has zero evidence of what they have just said regarding that statement. There's nothing. It's just they make the statement. None of them ever tried to help us. Man, it's just like saying, well, where do we have in African American history that we tried to help ourselves? I mean, where could you say that one group from in one part of the country made a concerted effort to help I'm talking about slavery, made a concerted effort to help the other group. I mean, we have it because who showed us? We have civil rights era, but whose TV was it? Was it shared on? So if we didn't have these things being documented by others, a lot of things we wouldn't even know ourselves. You see, but it's the same thing with African history. Just because it's not written down or we haven't been exposed to that knowledge doesn't mean it didn't exist. And I think that's just such another crime. I mean, a good example of that is how we have the conversation about reparations today. You hear FBA selling this idea we that we don't want the others. The others either don't want us to get reparations or they want to take our reparations. When in reality, no. Every country has its own reparations movement. You see what I mean? So it has nothing to do with some other Caribbean people trying to take our reparations or or others being against our reparations. Different groups of people have reparation movements. African people all over the globe. You see? So again, if we've never bothered to really look into reparations movements, we would believe what the FBA, people like Tariq Nasheed say. We would swear on that it's the holy truth. It is the truth, And but no, it's not. It just only works for people that never really looked into reparations. It works for them, and that's so sad. I mean,
It
there
is done. He has
a
no
lot
plan
of
for reparations. We've seen that on his website.
yeah, a lot of what's going on in Africa today is Africans are beginning to correct some of the wrongs of their own history. They're having states today where they can begin to catalog their own histories. Not that we're not a part of it, but to actually catalog it because there wasn't the means to do it before, to take oral traditions or whatever histories they had that were left and actually put it in a book and put it in a library. That they're doing reparative things today to repair their own history. Something in the US we don't think about so much because the slave master documented a lot of history. African Americans, we should understand. I don't want to say feel lucky, but we should understand there are some things that we have that everyone doesn't have in the diaspora. One of the things is that to know the history of slavery, to know our actual families, to be able to trace our actual families. A lot of that is done because of the damn Mormon. But what is it? Is it the Mormons? No, it's the Quakers or one of these big European groups that donated their slave records. One of the biggest groups that have the actual records. You think that's black people that kept the records? Wrong. And so a lot of us can trace our families, our actual families, back to the first time we even came to America because these people kept the records of the sales of our people. You see what I mean? So without those records, where will we sit within our knowledge? How will we know? You see what I mean? I'm serious about this. The biggest, I forget who it is. If you go to the African American Museum, they tell you all about their data collection. It's literally was sponsored by non-African Americans, brother. That information, the base information they use that in the African American Museum, it comes from European slaveholders. Not from our people. You see, so it's like we just have to take a closer look at how these things are done and just be reasonable about the approach. You see, you saw in Senegal, just in the last few years, they opened what? A museum, right? It's one of the biggest museums, right, in Africa for African heritage, right? What is it? It's in Senegal, right? What's the name of it, Shaka? So do you have?
I'm not aware of that. Not saying that it doesn't exist. We all know about Gory Island, but if they have made a museum, that I'm just not aware.
Hold on. It just opened up, and it's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest.
Feel free to have a look, because in the
It's the
meantime, I've actually.
Museum of Black Civilization, man. Sheikh Anta Diop's museum. Hold on. Is it that one?
There is a university in Dakar with Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop's name, but Museum of Black Civilization Dakar. Oh yes,
No, it
so
opened
December 2018. I'm going to share this
exactly.
in the chat. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. There it is. You have the link in the chat here.
And this is a new thing. This thing about Africans reclaiming their history and cataloging their history is new, and it's not just for Africans in the continent. It's for the diaspora also. It's for the whole diaspora. And I'm not saying they're focusing on slavery, but what I'm saying is that if your ancestors come from have a particular history, a lot of these artifacts, a lot of these histories were the artifacts were stolen. You see what I mean? And also the histories of many people, oral and otherwise, were repressed, outlawed, just outright outlawed. You cannot teach it to your own people. You see what I mean? So, I mean, it's just something we need to really take a close look at when we are falling for the xenophobia and making these generalizations. Nobody ever came to do something for us. I mean, you cannot prove that. Nobody's proving it.
Check this out. I have found it. So I just want to play it. You have the link here. It's actually the French version of Deception of Asiatic Black Men. I first made Deception of Asiatic Black Men, then I actually translated it into the French. So it's slightly longer because of some stuff I thought that people knew in America. But anyway, let me just share. Let me just play it. I mean, there it is. Just listen up. This was an Armenian Squad member when he said that.
Envers les Africains et l'Afrique.
People have to understand that it wasn't so much the European coming in and beating Africans. The European is not bad enough to we give the cracker too much credit as far as the destruction of what they did for Africa. These were business dealers. These Africans were sold. They were being sold. They were sold by Moors. They were sold by African chiefs. Understand? There were African nations that sold us, which is why they never came to get us. They didn't even send empty canoes to come for us to row our own self back. They didn't give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying? We are all that we got. So, you running around saying you got all of this love for Africa. Africans sold us. These were all business transactions.
You're running around talking about you got all this love for Africa. Africans sold us. These were business transactions.
It's the most ignorant statement of all, brother. It's the most ignorant statement.
That's some more. That's how they feel. And he was an Armenian Squad member. And those guys used to greet by saying Black African power. And then he goes on his radio show and saying, you're talking about you have all this love for Africa. That's the same guy who lied about his passport's nationality field.
Yeah. And it's very sad. It's very sad that he knows that little about the slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. It's really sad.
But check this out. I have some other quotables from the so-called conscious community people. You see? Check this out.
Multiplié par 10, 100 000 ou 1 million, ça vous donne toujours 0. Et vous pouvez voir le résultat. Ici, vous pouvez entendre un de ces mots et son sentiment envers l'Afrique et les Africains. C'est donc.
You heard that? Now the quality, the volume is low. That dude said, F them ninjas in Africa, they don't give a F about us. Right? And guess who filmed him? Now, that time he was on radio, but you're going to see somebody filming him. You're going to recognize his voice when he laughs.
ce qui est, vous savez tout.
Where
Écoutez,
I ain't gonna be dealing with no African nigga, and I live in a building where it's 99% African, and them niggas get up to go to work every morning to fuck you up, throwing niggas out of their apartments, and I gotta go to court and help my brother out and all type of shit. You understand? So, fuck Africa.
Did you hear that laugh? That's filthy Frankie. That's filthy Frankie. He ain't said, oh, no, you can't say that. You're wrong.
Some European term, man.
maintenant, toujours dans le résultat des enseignements asiatiques, parce que certains diront, oui, mais chacun est libre de son sentiment envers
Now,
l'Afrique.
listen to Ali Mohammed, the guy who showed a fake PhD degree, a fake doctorate degree, who recently had a debate with Jabari.
Et les Africains.
North America, South America, Mu, the land of Mu, the mythical land of Mu.
Already proved that the pyramid of Zalki-Calco actually left writing about the destruction of Mu and when it happened. Now we're giving you a map. Do you need
The destruction of Mu. Fictional stories and fairy tales.
anything else? Because I got trashed on that one.
He's gonna say that he hates Africa. Brace yourselves.
Oh, he's trying to make us from some mythical civilization in America because he hates Africa. I do hate Africa. Because Africa belongs to white folks.
What did I say, Doctor? Ali Muhammad said he hates Africa. You heard him? I didn't make that up. That was his lecture. Nobody put a gun to his head. Those are your teachers.
Now, if you can't stomach that, I'm sorry. But we got to stop calling ourselves after what they, we got to stop it. We are emitting this frequency that's keeping us dead.
A frequency that is keeping us down. But black means death according to science, and white means purity. I guess that's keeping us up.
Voilà, vous l'avez entendu. C'est vraiment.
Now, it's hard for people to get this. It's the same dude, Ali Muhammad.
But there was no such thing as the Egyptian civilization.
There was no such thing as an Egyptian civilization. There was no such thing as Kemet. This is the civilization of Moors. And they have the nerve to call that a teacher.
Voilà, donc ça mérite vraiment, on va dire, une réponse.
And I'm also
Now, check this out when I ask him about this anti-African teaching of the Nation of Islam. Because the lessons that they study by heart says that Africans are living a jungle life. Not used to live a jungle life, but are living a jungle life. And listen to how he makes excuses for it.
So.
Now, Brother Ish, are Africans living a jungle life?
Yeah, what about it?
Are Africans living a jungle life?
Okay, what's your question?
That was 2011. Sorry about the noise. That was 2011. I'm so used to asking a very specific, clear, and simple answer, and people bug dancing and tap dancing like cheerleaders. I'm so used to that. Let's continue.
My question is, are Africans living a jungle life?
Some Africans live in the jungle and some don't.
I didn't ask if they live in a jungle. I asked if they live in a jungle life.
I said some Africans live in jungles and some don't.
Okay, so that's accurate information.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 120 lesson, and you're saying that that's good.
Do you
And
disagree?
Arabia, the best part of the planet.
Do you disagree with that?
I disagree that Africans are living a jungle life. Yes.
So you're saying that no Africans live in the jungle? Is that what you're saying?
See, you hear that? Now he's trying to move the goalposts, like some people say. Gaslighting. So you're saying there's no Africans that live in the jungle? Those guys study these lessons by heart. You can do and say whatever you want as long as they follow this doctrine. And you can ask that Shirley how she feels about this lesson.
that Africans are living a jungle life. Living in a jungle and living a jungle life is two different things.
I'm saying, do you disagree that some Africans live in the jungle?
I disagree with the 120 lesson that says that Africans are living a jungle life. That's what I disagree with. It doesn't say are Africans living in the jungle. It says Africans are living in a jungle life. That's what it says.
It doesn't say all Africans.
So now it doesn't say all Africans. You remember that Apostle Zukwan, who said that he hates Hamites? And when I make it clear that Hamites is a word that they use for Africans, and they say that's not all Africans. That's the beach made motherfucking conscious community when you have some old ass motherfuckers reaching 70 fucking years old, telling the fucking world that they hate Africans, right? But then it's gonna say, oh, that's not all Africans. Oh, that's not all Africans. Right on, brother. The so-called fucking conscious community, you're looking like some beach ass motherfucking dumbass. And all of this is documented. The rape, the child molestation, the anti-African teaching, the scamming, all of that is documented. And the future generation will not clap at you. They're just seeing how beach made you motherfuckers are. Now here.
I never said he said all Africans. He says Africans. He doesn't say some Africans. He doesn't say few Africans.
Exactly.
Now,
Vous l'avez entendu. Et...
Now, hold on. Just want to show you something. Black Power. You heard about the new Black Panther Party? Look at Black Power.
Come on. I don't care too much about anything but Almighty God these days. Come on. Let's talk about this brother. Yes, sir. Come on. Because he's a bold man. That's right. Yes, he is. Let's talk about this brother. Alhamdulillah. Sheikh Osama bin Laden. That's right. Mr. bin Laden. Got to give him his respect. Got to. He's not bowing down today. Ain't seen him cutting the tap dance. That's right. Today in the world, Mr. bin Laden standing up. That's right. Oh, there's a man born over in Arabia that's standing up and he's bringing reform to this world, Mr. bin Laden. Well, you're not supposed to say these things about him. Come on with it. I thought I had free speech. Come on. Mr. bin Laden, Al Qaeda, the Taliban. I don't know whether Mr. bin Laden had anything to do or not with the September 11th attacks. I don't know if I can trust these tapes that the government puts out. Come on. And they want you to hear the whole tape, allegedly where he confesses, but the other tapes that he puts out, you can't hear those tapes. Check it out. I don't know about believing in the credibility of a government that puts out false information and knows how to fix up the videos. And that's right. With the tapes and make it out appear that they're saying. I don't know if I can trust J. Edgar Hoover's people. Come on, that's right. Ain't no way. There's a Muslim that is standing up. A Muslim, and for those who say he's not a Muslim, I tell them to please shut your mouth. That's right. Shut up. When Mr. bin Laden speaks, he speaks from the Quran and the Sunnah. Right. And logic and reason. That's right. Those are his 4 points. The Quran, the Sunnah or the Hadith, and what? Logic and reason. Let's give him a hand, man. God is great. If the enemy hates him tangentially, that's right. Logically, check it out. Mathematically, he's your friend. That's right. Come on. Huh? If he got Bush shook up, got him shook up. Huh? If he got Bush shaking and quaking, if he got Rumsfeld shaking and quaking, he got to be some kind of friend of yours or mine. Check it out. Care what you say about him, man. His name will go down in history because he will not die a punk. That's right. He will not die like some kind of sissy standing up. That's right. In the name of God. In the name of God. Oh, God is great.
Voilà, vous l'avez vu et entendu.
So just to answer Divinely Inspired, he says that, he doesn't see the comments. What you will need to do, brother, when you are in the chat, It happens sometimes, but you just need to click here and select live chat, you see, and then you will see. But you don't see all the comments all the time. After a while, it's only so much you can go back up. But yeah, that's what I would suggest that you do. Now, you've seen the so-called Black Power. Now, on Fox News, when he spoke to Geraldo Rivera, he backed down quick. And let's have a look.
Mr. Bin Laden, Al Qaeda, the Taliban. I don't know whether Mr. Bin Laden had anything to do or not with the September 11th attacks. Let's give him a hand, man.
Hi, everybody. We're live. I'm Geraldo Rivera, and this is Malik Zulu Shabazz, chairman of the small but vocal New Black Panther Party. It is an anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti-white people radical group which made headlines recently promising to disrupt an event my colleagues Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin and others plan now for the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington on August 28th, which we will get to. But first, welcome to the program, Mr. Shabazz.
Welcome.
You have a situation here where
First of all.
Wait a second. I'll ask the questions. First of all, you're praising the Taliban. What aspect of the Taliban are you praising? The fact that they prevent women from being educated, they stone people suspected of adultery, they kill children of villagers who support the government in Kabul. Which aspect of the Taliban and Al Qaeda do you support?
I'm not a supporter of that at all.
I just saw you on tape.
But I am here I am a member of the black and the brown and the red oppressed peoples of the earth that have felt the wrath of United States imperialism, British imperialism, and the wrath of the Caucasian governments on black and brown people.
We have a whole half hour, Malik.
And so I understand.
Answer my question.
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
You said a half a dozen dads in my kids' junior high school were killed on 9/11 by Al Qaeda. I don't take it lightly.
Geraldo.
It seems to me a traitorous statement. Are you a traitor? Are you a traitor to the United States?
No, sir. I'm a member of the.
Do you withdraw that statement?
Will you let me answer? Will you let me answer the question?
Do you withdraw the statement? Answer that and
have you been to FBI? I've been to FBI headquarters. Do you know that Bin Laden is not even charged with the crime for the events of 9/11? I don't know who was involved in 9/11. I am not an Al Qaeda or Taliban supporter. So you need to let that go.
But you just said it.
No, I
do
didn't.
you withdraw the statement you made in 2002? Do you withdraw it? I mean, if you do, if you're man up to do that, then I will appreciate it.
Okay, I'll withdraw the statement. All right, let's keep moving.
All right, let's move on.
It didn't take long. It took less than 5 minutes. You notice the difference? Oh, Osama bin Laden, Al Qaeda. He backed down quick. So here in the chat, let's have a look. The Theology of Time, page 92. Elijah Muhammad, you will never be able to convert me, no, because you should first do like the preacher in the jungle of Africa and Australia and other far off Pacific islands. Preach to the savage to hide his nakedness. This is the first preaching we give to a savage to cover your nakedness. Same book. We don't consider Africa's people of the jungles anything for us to follow or be taught by. If you're not civilized, you can't lead a civilized person. The Theology of Time, page 92-93. If you tell me to go to Africa, I will go there. But don't tell me to go there to be civilized. I'm already civilized and I'm ready to civilize Africa, Now, if you have a teaching that comes from anywhere, and where it says Africa, it says America. And where it says Africans, it says Black Americans. I'm sure you will not be happy about it. I'm sure you will not like it. You know what I'm saying? And finally, so I wonder what Shirley has to say about that. She doesn't care about that because that's her teaching. That's her foundation, right? And I have the right to disagree. The book, The History of Jesus' Birth, Death, and What It Means, page 14, that's Elijah Muhammad's teaching. Joseph rented one of those fast camels, put Mary and her baby on it, and said to the camel, take this woman to Cairo, Egypt. Hurry, hurry. The camel went directly to Cairo with Mary and her child, Jesus. That's what she believes in. That's what Nation of Islam members believe in. That Joseph spoke to a camel and instructed the camel to take Jesus and her mother, Mary, to Cairo. And he told the camel, hurry. And the camel went directly to Cairo with Mary and her child, Jesus. Feel free.
I mean, you know, to me, it sounds like these kind of statements are like ways where you can, I mean, in Malik's case, right? It seems like something shocking to say, an easy way to get some media attention, to, you know, an easy way to get attention. And then you can, you know, if you want money, obviously getting attention helps, right? If you don't think you can get a voice any other way, then this would be like the easy, cheapest way to get a voice, is to, at that time, to act like you support Osama bin Laden. But make no mistake about it, Osama bin Laden could care less about Malik Zulu Shabazz. He would have nothing to do with him. You see, and I'm not saying he have anything personally against them. I'm just saying they're two complete total worlds apart. One, if this person, Osama bin Laden, is what the US government says he is, and I have no doubt that he's more that and more, you know, what the hell would he have in common with Malik Zulu Shabazz, man? I mean, there's nothing there. It's obvious it's Malik, to get funding, needs to say something outrageous to get on cheap media like Fox. You see?
Well, it's
Now,
deeper than that, brother. I'm
go
sorry to
ahead.
interrupt, but
Go ahead.
people don't know that the Nation of Islam received millions of dollars from Gaddafi. So when they're making those statements, they are hoping to be founded, and maybe they were founded. They will not say every time that they receive money from them. Now, we've heard about Gaddafi pledging to give $1 billion or so to Farrakhan, and the U.S. government was like, "No, we ain't having that."
Yeah, but that's true, right? I agree with that. And it could be white people also funding them, because think
Of
about
course,
this. I
of
mean,
course,
you know, but what I mean is something
neo
different. Like,
Nazis.
right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are people, white people, racists, that supported Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. You know, so, you know, here's the thing. You know, what I meant by my statement is that, yeah, Gaddafi also was said to give money, but listen, man, in this world, in this type of world, even your enemy can financially support you. You know, there's, you see, in this
If you have a
game,
common cause at one point, or a
no,
common enemy at one point,
in this game, in this type of Game of Thrones, you know, that type of stuff exists. I mean, you know, you have to understand, Gaddafi giving money to the Nation of Islam, do you think that has to that for that to take place, it has to mean that Gaddafi gives a fuck about the Nation of Islam? Like, really? You know, people shouldn't be that naive, because things like that happen all the time. No, whatever Gaddafi did that for, he did that for his own purposes. And guess what?
interest.
If you could be used by Gaddafi, he will use you. And being used by Gaddafi don't make you his friend. Doesn't make you someone he likes. That makes you someone that he used, because you're stupid enough to be used. You see, and cheap enough to be. You see, that's what I look at it and see now, and believe. You know, Gaddafi would probably do anything um, to push his own agenda. And if supporting the Nation of Islam is a way he could push his own agenda, so be it. If he could use a little bit of support for them, for what he want to garnish a little bit of African American support to help his movement in Africa, so be it.
You see what I mean? That comes at a small price. $1 million is pennies to Gaddafi.
And well, he actually gave 3 in the 70s,
$3
and then
million
we have
is pennies to
yeah
Gaddafi.
yeah for him, yes.
Yeah.
In the
How many
70s,
billions did Gaddafi have? You know?
I know he's dead now, but you see, in the 70s, he gave 3 million to the NOI, and Elijah Muhammad talked about this. They introduced this as a loan. We haven't heard about any payback, and we have Khalid Abdul Muhammad on tape saying that he received $5 million from Gaddafi. Now, check this out here. We have this article that I've shared before. Gaddafi wants the European Union cash to stop African migrants, right? And I want you to have a look at this, brothers and sisters.
Exactly, Shaka.
Because hold on, I'm going to talk about a PhD. This is dated August 31st, 2010. I'm going to talk about Dr. Wesley Mohammed, PhD in Islamic Studies. He holds a doctorate degree. So this is Gaddafi with Berlusconi. And it says Libyan leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi says the EU should pay Libya at least 5 billion euros a year to stop illegal African immigration and avoid a black Europe. Speaking on a visit to Italy, Colonel Gaddafi said Europe could turn into Africa as there are millions of Africans who want to come in. Italy has drawn criticism for handing over to Libya migrants it intercepts at sea without screening them first. Far fewer now reach Italy from Libya. European Commission figure shows that in 2009, the number of people caught trying to enter Italy illegally fell to 7,300. Fell to 7,300 from 32,000 in 2008. The data was collected under the EU's Eurodac fingerprinting system. Gaddafi has forged close ties with Italy since a friendship treaty was signed 2 years ago. It sought to draw a line on the historic bitterness between Libya and Italy, its former colonial master. Tomorrow, Europe might no longer be European and even black, as there are millions who want to come in, said Gaddafi, quoted by the AFP news agency. He was speaking at a ceremony in Rome late on Monday, standing next to Italy's Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. We don't know what will happen. What will be the reaction of white and Christian Europeans faced with this influx of starving and ignorant Africans, said Colonel Gaddafi. Now, you know what Wesley Mohammed told during a lecture?
What?
He made excuses for that, talking about you don't know about like strategy. He made excuses for the anti-African statement of Gaddafi.
Yeah, that's
and they
because
always do that. They always butt kissing their slave masters. Go ahead.
That's
brother.
because Wesley Muhammad, he doesn't know that anti-blackness is and not only anti-blackness, but also there is a how Europe approaches Arabs and North Saharan Africans and Arabs and Middle Easterns is different from how they approach Sub-Saharan Africans. So Wesley Muhammad wouldn't recognize that because he's not into researching the populations of Europe. Had he researched the populations of Europe according to how the Europeans collect data, he would be aware of that. But he doesn't. So he couldn't even speak on it. He wouldn't be able to recognize it, even if it was sitting in his face, just like that comment is. You see, and it is exactly how that comment is. Gaddafi has a particular view of the world and Africa, and just because he has a particular view doesn't make his view correct or positive for Africans, let alone Europeans, let alone North Africans, or Libyans. You see what I mean? It just makes it his view, his way of seeing things. But he wouldn't be the only one, because if you just look at when it goes on in Tunisia or it goes on across Africa, just look at the politics. Look at what Europeans are discussing. Look at what's going on right now. They're literally giving money, billions of dollars, to North Africans to keep Sub-Saharan Africans out of Europe. Now, why would a North African ever do that if they had any type of respect for being African. Why would they ever play that game if they had a common political view as sub-Saharan Africans? It's very clear that they don't. They have a separate political view of being African from sub-Saharan Africans. They have a separate, and that view is we will take money, right, to keep them out, but also we don't want them here in North Africa either. They're a nuisance to us, so we can see why they're a nuisance to you, European. That's basically what's going on. And within Europe, the biggest body of foreigners is not sub-Saharan Africans. It's another group that could be classified as I hate to use this term but they use it. I think it starts with the M, but it basically means Middle Eastern type. You know, it's a new political term, pseudo political term. It's not totally accepted, but some researchers use the term, right? It means Middle Eastern, Arabic type. The Monap, I'm sorry, I think it's called Monap. They're the bigger group, but sub-Saharan Africans will get really get it bad, man, because there's no data collected on sub-Saharan Africans, so you don't know the extent of discrimination they face in the society, clearly, because European nations don't want to collect data on this group that's acknowledged by the UN. But they do have an idea of the population size, but it's not the biggest population size. Middle Eastern Arabs far outweigh sub-Saharan Africans in Europe, as far as my knowledge is concerned. You know, and if I'm not sure if that's the case in France, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is, but it's the case in Denmark. It's the case in Sweden. It's the case in where else could it be? You know, I believe that's the common reality that we're dealing with here, you know, in Europe. So Wesley Muhammad doesn't realize that. So in other words, he's a fucking asshole. I mean, I hate to say it, it's not that deep. He's just a fucking asshole when it comes to these kind of things. And it's not his religion that makes him so. It's not his belief in
It is his
Elijah
religion.
Muhammad.
It is
It's
his
that
religion,
he's
brother.
a fucking asshole.
No,
No,
it is his religion.
no, because if in my view, you know, maybe you could say that, but in my view, it's not a justification. You see, you still live on Earth. You're still obligated to know what the hell you're talking about. And
Yeah,
this
it's
man
true.
does not know a goddamn thing about the peoplings of Europe, of the EU.
Yeah,
So
but
he shouldn't even speak on it.
but
You know?
you see, that's religious solidarity. Black Muslims usually defend other Muslims just because they share the same religion.
Yeah,
You know what
he's
I'm saying?
dumb. He's dumb as fuck. I mean, I hate to say it. He's dumb.
Yeah, but check this out. You seen Malik Zulu Shabazz praising Osama bin Laden,
Yeah.
but then he backed down Queen. That's the way to get down.
Yeah,
That's just the way to get down.
But look where he got. He got on Fox News, and that shows you the angle that they have here, because Fox News is pseudo news any goddamn way. I mean, it turned out to be, and then so the only attention that he could really garnish, and the only purpose he could have, is to manipulate people's minds. When you're on Fox News, that's pretty much what it is. You know, you go there, you made some extreme statements, you want to, those statements are going to be shared to a certain demographic of the United States, which is probably going to be white women in the Midwest, right? Or in the Bible Belt, one of these two groups, right? They're already paranoid of foreigners. They're already paranoid of black people, have a lot of misconceptions about both groups. And so then they see they see, what's his name? Malik go up there praising Osama bin Laden. What the hell you think that's going to do for them? That's obviously about votes towards Republicans, basically, for a cheap cost. And this is how they get money. They go out, they know they're feeding into this stuff. If he doesn't, it's sad. It would be even
It
worse.
serves their cause. That tape served their cause, you know, and he did not even own up to it. He backed down, you know, from it. But you know, this is one of
Then
those.
he even going to tell people to not vote, but he's going to give them an injection of votes, he's going to give the Republican Party an injection of votes. Not even Republican, but he's going to feed that frenzy of hatred and paranoia towards foreigners, essentially, while he tells black people not vote, don't vote.
But you know what's funny is that when it came to Obama, there was a controversy
Oh yeah, he
because,
don't like Obama.
well, first he was
Obama's
cool
not
with
black
Obama.
enough.
First he was cool with Obama.
Mhm.
There was a controversy. You know, people were claiming that voters were intimidated at some voting stations, voting posts. You know, but once Obama was in office, and there was the war, the talks of war or invasion of Libya, Malik Zulu Shabazz went on a rant, and he labeled Gaddafi a black man, you know, just like Kaba Kamene or Booker T. Coleman, as he was known back then, said that Saddam Hussein is an African man, just like Tahakabe said that Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein are melanated. Now, he said, he called Obama the N word. He said that his wife should leave him tonight. Now, after that rant, he apologized to his elders, not to Obama. You know, so when they attack black folks, they're insane, Jack.
Yeah, he's a
But
man. He's a man. He feels like a man. But Obama don't give a goddamn about him. You know, and that's the thing about it. Obama is going to have his family, raise his kids, um, and do what he sees best. And he uh, is probably just laughing at Malik and sees him as ignorant and stupid. And Malik is a cornball because just think about this: if he would pander to Fox Media, then you know he would kiss Obama's ass any day of the week. Period. Because quite obviously, Obama knows more than a Fox News person. Like who was that? Geraldo. I mean, Obama has more of a network and ties and accurate information than Geraldo would. So if he would kiss Geraldo's ass and retract that statement, then he's would be a goddamn fool to not retract that statement he made about Obama and apologize. But then again, he's a goddamn fool because it makes no sense. I mean, so you're going to cap for Geraldo and not Obama? I mean, Geraldo, he's Spanish Jewish, right? And what the? I don't get it. It just is dumb, dude. I'm not saying that's a problem, him being Spanish Jewish. I'm saying the rationale behind it. You know, it just makes no sense any way you look at it. I mean, it. You know,
but
it's dumb. That shows you people should read between the lines. Malik doesn't see himself good enough to even be anywhere else but Fox News. And so therefore he will kiss Geraldo's ass to be there. That's a low bar. That's low. That's very low. That's a low bar to have. That's all I'm saying. You know?
But one thing to remember is that tape where he was praising Osama bin Laden and the Taliban's, you know, we heard so many people in the crowd being in agreement, you know. So many people share that sentiment. Malik backed down on TV in front of Geraldo, but the other people mostly will not have backed down. They still share that sentiment, you know. And this is a continuous problem where we have some black folks who claim to be down for black African people, but ultimately their interest lies elsewhere. And many of them just want to please their former slave masters. Some of them because they got paid, others for free. And it's been like that, it's been like that, and it's always the same. And they have those so-called teachings, you know, which for the most part are inaccurate. And they want us to just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when we have when I had a simple conversation with Sabir Bey, I mean he has, is it Gaga
Well,
Guru?
they have it in their teachings. You know, the religious aspect of it is that all of these people they're anti you know, polytheism, you know. What they call what do they call that? They call those Polytheist is another term. What's the term they use?
Yeah, polytheistic, but yeah, many of them will be. But the thing is this, you see,
Well, that's
so
rooted in their doctrine, the monotheism versus
it is,
polytheism.
it
And
is, it
so,
is. But check this out. See, Sabir is another example. Similarly, with Malik, who's praising a guy who, we don't have any evidence of Osama bin Laden having some sort of care or love for Africans. You see,
no.
Now we have Ibn Khaldun, that sociologist from Tunisia, who was negrophobia. He was anti-black.
Yeah.
But yet Sabir makes excuses for him. That's even worse. And that's a so-called teacher. So it's always the same crew, the same type of people. And really,
well, that's what I was saying. That's
yeah,
exactly
but check this out. Those are Asiatic black men.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that's
So
what
they have hijacked the movement for so long, and thanks to Sanetta, they who was he been advertising?
Yeah, he made it look
all those guys. Wesley Muhammad, Sabir Bey, Malik also, all those guys who hate Africa, all those guys who hate Africans. And as if it wasn't enough, all those scammers, he just revealed that he knew Garfield was coming 6 years ago. He only said it because he had a few words with Garfield. 6 years ago, he knew. And all these damn rapists and child molesters. And just a few weeks ago, right? He just talked about Garfield and Robborn. And people don't even ask what's up with that. They heard about Nepal, they don't even ask what's up with that.
No.
But anyway, bro, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Feel free if you have any closing remarks.
I mean, I think it's interesting conversation. It's definitely has a lot of political implications, and it's a real conversation for today. This kind of confusion about what's going on. I mean, in every period in time, you have this kind of problem trying to identify peoples who's a friend, who's a potential ally versus who is an enemy or potential enemy, and a lot of times our people think that it's either an ally or enemy, and we forget that there's also potential allies and potential enemies that also take up a big group, a big demographic. And so we don't need to just paint everyone with a broad brush. You see what I mean? We need to be more pointed because we would do ourselves a disservice to make things so easy for everybody. When we paint things with a broad brush, we make it easier for others to be potential enemies rather than potential allies. And it's not that we can't and don't do it alone. We do it alone today. We do it alone, but or somewhat alone, right? But that doesn't mean there's not potential energy that can be harnessed it or used to our advantage. You see what I mean? Because everyone else always has another potential enemy, not just a potential ally too. So for us to miss that, you see what I mean, is just foolishness. There was no need for Malik to align himself with Osama bin Laden. He knows very little about Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, I mean, we can understand this, didn't have a purpose for Malik. Had no purpose. He didn't need Malik to do with what he needed to do. You see what I mean? He didn't even mix himself up in there. And it's a similar dynamic where we're faced with that every day. Who's a potential friend? Is Russia a potential friend of Africa or African Americans? That's the question. Are they a friend or are they just another potential enemy posing as a friend? Because that's what people do. That's how politics is played out.
And so it's going to continue to be that way. We're going to have an issue with having to identify who is from who. But if we paint everybody with a broad brush, then we're kind of like giving up part of our power, because everyone else is always looking for a potential friend. They have no loyalty, man. There's no loyalty in this game. You see, one group that looks like they're together, soon as they see one arm fall, they will abandon that arm because they want to survive. And the name of the game is survival. You see? So I just think we need to do a lot better. Stop pretending that we have allies that aren't there. I mean, if for us to expect for African people to expect today that Middle Eastern people are allies, that North Africans, and I'm not saying they're enemies, but I'm saying are allies. That's different. See, you don't have to be an enemy to be an ally. That's a different thing. But for us to expect that they are allies, we have to see where the allyship lies in politics, in choices, in decisions. And we don't necessarily see it socially or politically. We see almost potential enemy shit. Who's talking about blowing up the dam in Ethiopia? Egypt. That's not fucking US. Germany, the UK, Britain, is not talking about blowing up the Ethiopian dam. That's Egypt. That's North Africans. Who's asked to take billions of dollars from Europe to keep sub-Saharan Africans out of Europe? Who did that? Who took that money? I mean, look, when you look at Europeans, would they take that money if they said, keep the Ukrainians out of Europe? Keep them out of it. You give us money, Russia, and we'll keep the Ukrainians out of Europe. Do you think they would take that money? No, they said, fuck you, Russia. We'll take Ukraine instead. That's what they said. You see, and that's not what Gaddafi said. Gaddafi didn't say fuck you. What's good? You see, so we have to begin to measure these things up accurately and make rational sense out of their decisions, and stop trying to believe that somebody's our ally or that somebody's automatically our enemy. We just need to drop the belief and just look at things for what they are and ask everybody to be accountable for their actions and their choices. You see, so it's not personal. I think when we go by belief, we make it personal. We make it seem like no matter what you do, I'm always going to be on your side, brother. No, fuck no. I won't always be on your side, no matter what you do. You have to prove every day that you're on our side, that you're cooperating with us. We have to do deeds to show that cooperation, or do deeds to show non-cooperation, whichever one it's going to be. But so that's my last word on it, bro.
Appreciate that, brother. Now, for the record, I've changed the title. Instead of teaching, it says teachers now. So I'm going to make my closing remarks. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue. I said facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do I do the hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Maat, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Necha lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is, that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Necha, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Necha, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Necha classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in-depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Necha class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Maat Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Maat. Don't forget to share Kemet and Maat on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/maatforever.